Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another installment of the March Invitational 2025 casted series here. I've got Neblime, and that means we're about to get ready to cast some games, of course. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Like you say, another installment, the sequel. I don't know, the threequel. I don't know what we're up to.
Yeah, I think it would be the threequel because we did the first two groups that we casted as VODs. Obviously, the first stream of it was live, and it was over 2 days. I'd count that as one. And then we did two more groups, and that would be the sequel. And so this is the threequel. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
There you go. That's
so we have, yes, that is three. We have an interesting set of matches here for Group D. Leading the charge with the most experience in the group, Toyota Miguel. You've heard his name. You've seen his name. You also know Honda Pablo, which is Smarty Kicks' alt. Big fan. And that means that we have Toyota Miguel here representing Poland as our Terran player. We've got Tudor as our random player. He is a fairly recent sort of, you could say, a convert to Cosmonarchy. He's definitely been playing a lot, been hanging out with the community a lot in the streams, all that. And then Fenris. Fenris is playing as Zerg. That is an interesting situation because Fenris has not played that much, and he was like, yeah, I guess... I'm just here to play a couple of games. I guess I'll play as the race that I've got the most experience with. But as far as I know, he's tried all of the races. So he should have a little bit of an understanding, at least of that like early game stuff. And I'm most excited for some of the matches featuring, of course, our new players. But also I kind of want to see where these new guys stack up versus Toyota, who's a bit more of a known quantity. He's been on a lot of the gauntlets. He's been on a couple of the open qualifiers, like to the Tyrant's Tale. I think he was playing in that open qualifier way back. Definitely played in Acropolis 2's qualifier. What do you make of the complexion of this group, Toyota, Tudor, and Fenris?
Yeah, it's good to see Toyota play, because like he's been around for a while, but I feel like he's one of those players who doesn't play super much, but it's good he finds time for events.
Of course.
For the other two, I can't really say much. I think I've actually played Tudor, maybe, possibly, maybe not. It's hard to keep track because there's been so many new players recently, right? And Fenris, I really have no idea. Like, not even the faintest. So for all I know, he's S-rank goes Sue is going to clean the route 4-0 for Fenris. There you go. I'm stating it now.
Okay, all right. There he is. He comes out bold with a proclamation. So the funny thing is, Fenris doesn't even have a rank as I'm recording this video with you, Neblime, because I have not.
We get to make it up.
Yes, we are going to reach a determination together based on what we're seeing here. If he succeeds, if he wins well, I'd say that's probably like class 3 material, but it also depends on how Toyota and Tudor do. They are both class 4 players themselves, so gonna need some work. Maybe Toyota could even convert me for a class 3 promo, depending on how he does here, because it depends on the level of the competition here. So our first matchup is going to see Toyota waiting a little bit because it's going to be Tudor, who's the random player, versus Fenris, the Zerg player. So we get to see our new players right here at the very beginning here, Neblime. Are you ready to get it started on Apollo?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. As a reminder, this is first who wins 4 games, as Neblime kind of alluded to there with the 4-0 commentary, is going to be our victor. And that means that we're going to be seeing some very exciting matches. Of course, we could get for an FFA Decider. That's why this group is called Decider, Please. We need to see Toyota play that FFA where he will probably win. That's what happened last time he was in a group. He was the only participant in an FFA Decider. So perhaps history will repeat itself as we have Tudor in the bottom right, our eggshell blue Zerg, and Fenris in the top left. I'm just going to say our black. Oh, it's jet black Zerg player in the top left there. So Tudor has rolled Z. And that means we're in for a mirror, but he has not said his race. Neblime, what do you make of this dishonorable play?
Well, I mean, you got to do what you can if you're going to disadvantage yourself by picking random. Like, that's the advantage random has, is that your opponent won't know what you are. You got to use that. I'm intrigued he's going for Larwosk. Of course, obviously it's a fine build, but, you know me, I like the 7 pool. I think 7 pool is a very legit build, and especially if your opponent doesn't know what you're doing. So you see this Larwosk out here. If you went 7 pool and just showed up, you are so screwed as Fenris, because your Larvosk is not in a position where you can defend it. So already kind of missing the free win, but whatever. I guess
he he 8-pooled after putting a K-Grid down and not having enough minerals to get his Larvosk after that. So it's not a very efficient build from Tudor, but he's kind of doing it. It's just like not nearly as fast as it would have been otherwise. You're right.
I think this is fine, like, in a vacuum, this is okay. But it is just completely fundamentally different from going straight 7 pool, how much later he's going to be here. Now, of course, Fenris could still die. Anything's possible. If you put the pool down right now, you're 300 minerals, put the pool down. Okay, that's a hydro then. That doesn't bode well, because the zero cost and hydras do take longer to build. Again, if Tudor knows what he's about, he just goes straight across to the Zeths, and he is saving lava. This still could be very hairy for Fenris here.
Oh yeah, he's going to have 3 pairs of Zeths if that's what he's going to make him. He has more than enough money for that. What does he want to do? What does he want to do? It's Quaz! Our hopes dashed. So it's actually, I think, I don't want to overstate how significant this is, because it's going to sound real swingy to those who are uninitiated in Zerg. But correct me if I'm wrong, Neblime, I feel it is so much worse to make Quaz versus a Hydrith opener than it is to make Zeths. Because if you make Zeths, you can threaten damage from this position. You make Quaz, they're just going to have better units and run up on you, right? Like, the Quaz are okay at defending, I guess, but this is not nearly as advantaged as it could be, especially since Fenris is expanding. Tudor has no pressure.
Yeah, well, like, I don't want to, like, drain the hype from the cast or anything, but, like, this is kind of just a throw from Tudor already. Okay, for those
ZVZ is really the fastest way you could throw a matchup, I feel like. You could go from 0 to hero real quick.
Well, for those who don't know, right, those who haven't watched many ZVZs, right, the Quaz are, like, one of the best units, and they do just absolutely eat Zeths for breakfast, and they're not terrible versus Hydras either. It's just that they take too long to get across the map, because here they come, right? If these were Zeths, they would have been here and killed the Larvosk already, or maybe even killed the Natural already. As it stands, he's here to threaten, but what's he going to do? The Hydras are out, and, you know, these Quaz are, like, slightly superior to 2 Hydras, but Fenris can just, like, micro back and buy time, and they are really bad at killing buildings. Now, that said, he's going to go for the Larvosk, but they also, Fenris throws his own down, he needs to deny that. And the Hydras here, yeah, they can just start microing back and forth. And Izzy is going to do a lot of work here. Oh, he's going to pick up Hydras, not careful. Oh, the Zerg getting a lot of damage, though. Not the best micro from Tudor, and he's going to get cleaned up here 100%. He is not going to do any damage, I think, now. As long as Fenris keeps up on the micro, which is doing quite well right now.
Yep, this is what we're talking about. Good pullback there on that Hydra. It's wounded. The Kagrin is not going to be able to get too much value here. Might not even finish. Oh, it does. Okay, well, it finishes just in time to not give him the worker back. So that's the state. Wow. That's the 350 out of 350 on the bunker in ASL. That's the Cosmo equivalent right there. It was basically done. Well, that being said, we got a couple burrowed Quaz here for detection. I don't know, man. This is looking pretty bad. Fenris already on the ski backed.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much over, because even though the work count is not that far apart, consider that Fenris just has 3 lava production structures in the natural. Okay, Tudor's second lava is just popping up now. Look, theoretically, he can make like a whole bunch of Quaz or something and try and all in. But I mean, already another cave coming up, which honestly is a remarkably prescient move, given that he already has one in the natural mineral line. Fenris looking like pretty goddamn good right now. Not only has he had this superior opening, good micro, he also seems to anticipate what he needs to do. Now, hold on though, Tudor going for a Zork is here. Maybe he can just run up with Larvosk, and if Fenris isn't ready, who knows?
Yeah, I guess.
What I'm saying with Look is.
I figured you meant Lake is there. Yeah, so I mean, there's that. There's obviously if you can get some Zoryus out. It's just that Tudor is so low econ right now. About 10 workers to the worse. Fenris obviously has that advantage where not only is he stacking workers, but he's got more efficiency with that second base.
Look, to be honest, if he's just going to like all in with Lakers here, I don't mind just staying on 17 workers, because you can only get so much gas, right?
Sure.
If he's not trying to end the game soon, yeah, he's pretty screwed if he doesn't have more workers. But if he is just trying to kill him, well, he's making a mix of draw left from Quaz now, just before his Zork finishes. Now I do disapprove.
Well, yeah, that's already one thing, but on top of it, he's going for Hydrith. He was thinking about expanding, decides against it because it was scouted out a little bit by the counter Droleth of Fenris. Another point here, it does take about 90 seconds, apparently, according to Shopkeeper Dog's math, which I haven't checked, but I trust him. He's going to Korea, so he must be a good player. The thing about that is it takes about 90 seconds for the Escagant to make money back for you. A little bit of Amuro. He actually gets it back. That's not bad at all. That was really well played. Holy moly. I was just going to talk over that because I figured there's no way it does anything of consequence, but here we are. So,
dude, advancing the meta as we see, that's going to be a tactic, I think, if you know your opponent's moving out backdoor.
And you have the Quaz.
Twice as many Quaz. Yeah, he could have got 2.
Well, the Azir cores are going to be a real tough puppy to actually break through here, right? He's putting down some emergency circuits, but he has nothing to really defend with, and you can get a full way up the ramp here because there was no Kagra spread towards that ramp earlier.
I like what I'm seeing with so many Larvosk. Oh, but no, wait a minute. These are circles. And you can just walk around this. Damn, I was liking what I was seeing, because...
He doesn't have the gas for that, yeah.
There's a world where he just makes so many, like, Zeths or something and runs around, and who knows, like, you know, his opponent's not ready. But it is not this world. He's just making the circus in a non-defensive position. But that said, Fenris is not really game to go up the ramp. The Lakers are going to be out. They're going to keep him in the game, for sure. But look at this. Fenris just taking a third base. He's like, all right, well, if you're just going to hide, He's pretty undersaturated though. Look, I'm looking at this, and Fenris really does seem like a Brood War player because he's got that,
macro hatch in the wall, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. I didn't even think about that. But he's got that sort of Brood War Zerg saturation. Obviously, he's even doing better than that for sure. I mean, if this was Brood War, he'd have
973. Let me get my mutas out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But also the fact that he had the pretty good micro with the units. He seems confident to control them and sort of. Oh, look at this arrow ambush though. Oh man, that would be huge if the Lakers get on top of his army because then he instantly kill them. Because those Iroquois can sort of run in, but they're squishy enough that you don't really want to do that.
Especially if there's a big backing of Quas, right? Tudor's army is very out of position.
Yeah. This is unfortunately a classic blunder we see where people are going to expand. Okay, here we go. He's going to bring him out now. But yeah, if it's lucky for him Fenris didn't attack at that moment. We have Vornaf coming out, by the way.
Interesting. Well, no, that's a regular pool. That's actually for Fenris. He's only now, and he's doing tier 2 now. Yeah, okay, so.
Okay, all right, never mind.
A couple extra macro hatches. Dude, honestly, Fenris is looking super in control of this game. Tudor has a very small chance of maybe getting a little bit of value with this Quas runs by, and like if Fenris overreacted to pull his army, that would be one thing. He's actually making Rilla Rokors on location here. He's not going to save that K-Grimp, but still. And now here comes the attack. The Ovolot's here to detect the lake is. I mean, tell me, there's nothing here to complain about for Fenris's attack. He's just going to clean this out with backfill bounces. There's a couple Hydras here that might be bad, but he pulls the Iziricors back. Like, dude, nice play.
Yeah, it's a bit dicey trying to fight these Lakers, but he's executed it pretty well. Like, here he goes again with a bit of an arc. Should be enough to clean him up with heavy losses, but he's head enough that it does not matter. And because they didn't get killed, but they sort of get deflected, and Tudor's not paying attention right now, so he secures no natural for his opponent. I mean, if he just walks around these... oh, that's Barry. If he just walks around these Circuit, he can still win the game right now.
Yep, doesn't know it yet, but tier 2 just finished back in the main base. The Rilla Rokor is still trying to chase those Quas back. They're like, all right, we'll go back to where there's no Kagra. Meanwhile, that's being spread. Very, very amusing. Yeah, I wish I had asked people as part of the mutats. Oh, look, Neblime, your favorite tactic. Tech in the third base,
right?
So,
as Zerg, it's even worse.
Mutat in the third, yeah, love it.
Well, at least the mutat's relatively cheap. I mean, look, in general, I would love to see more Static D hierarchy. He's getting set up on that. Look, yeah, I understand he was sort of busy, with his army, but he's definitely fallen off in the training department.
Yes.
I love there's a fourth base, but like these bases aren't doing anything for you if you don't put any workers there, man.
He's got 2 workers exactly where that 12 o'clock is. And
coming in and getting absolutely annihilated by Iziricors.
Classic move, yeah. Doesn't even pick the 1 Bactylisk, so gets 1 Hydra out of his troubles or something. Yeah, at this point, Tudor is so far behind. Not only is he behind in terms of not having tier 2, obviously, but he doesn't even have a natural yet. So this is looking like a very rough mismatch where, like, Fenris isn't quite confident enough or knowledgeable enough, maybe, to pull through and just smash the enemy super heavily. So this game is going to extend a little bit longer before it becomes obvious to Tudor that he's got to back out and go next. But Fenris is definitely looking sharp, and Tudor is going to need, if he rolls Zerg versus this guy again, he's going to need to win the early stages of the game. I like the tactic of trying to do the Quas into the natural expand, use his own Kagra against him, put down the Circuith, but he puts it down by the ramp. It would have been ranged down by Hydras anyway, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really good on the precise tactic. The strategy, fine, but the precise tactic of actually where you put your stuff, not so fine. And, well, Tudor is going to find the big army over here before the tier 2 is now revealed. But we have Pertathalors coming to range down the static defense. Not a bad shout.
Yeah, I mean, by that point, he also didn't even know that his opponent wasn't going Quas as well. But like we discussed, if he just went Zephs, he probably would have actually just won this game if he was able to get in and do the damage.
Yes, that's another point.
Well, he's going to come in this narrow angle, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's such a small force for Tudor. I guess this is just the revelation of how behind he is.
Yes, like, oh, you have a 4th base being set up. You know, it's still no saturation on it, but the Rilla Rokors were also a prescient move, I think, by Fenris. He made 3 pairs of them, and that slows down the army enough that it can't actually escape after committing to the push. And then Pertathalors are only now going to be revealed. Well, not even really, because there's nothing for Tudor to catch them, so he's going to have to deal with the fact that the delayed tier 2 reveal is only now coming up, as a very long string of the Jet Black Zerg is moving towards our very, very ill-fated Zerg upstart. Still no 3rd base for him, and Fenris is probably quite surprised by that. He's going to just go ahead and pull the trigger on the attack.
Yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, there's still definitely like knowledge gaps here for Fenris, but that kind of bodes better for him as a player than you'd think, because he's clearly playing well mechanically right now, but doesn't have the knowledge of what to use. That just means there's a lot of room for easy improvement. Like, for example, this game, I think, if he's going to make Mute Spy, he can just come with a bunch of mutants in the game. Although, the more, like, surefire option, I think, is just make some Convolisks with Hydralisk, and that's just going to aim with literally anything your opponent has at tier 1.
Oh, he's getting hit. He's getting hit by it. We are seeing the anti-noob feature active right now. When you try to control a big army across the map, you will just end up getting your army sent back to the middle of the map. So, classic move.
You sure he wasn't just avoiding that circle? He was so worried about these massive defenses from Tudor. I don't know if he can break through. His army's so small. Okay, guys, it's pretty big. It's over.
Though, thankfully, Neblime, there's many of us who will be able to tell the fake hype versus the real. But yeah, getting on top of the eggs there. Izira cores were a nice emergency idea, but Tudor is going to have to call GG there. And the first win will go to Fenris. This means he's going to be going up against Toyota and see if he can't take a dub in a different kind of matchup here. Thoughts, opinions on Fenris as a player? You did mention that he's got knowledge gaps that he can shore up, but do you think that somebody with more knowledge than him, i.e. Toyota, will be able to take to him?
Well, you're going to need some mechanics, but there's definitely weaknesses, of course. I noticed in the end, his army had like a nice layering of rangers, right? Because it had a whole bunch of Isis in the front, Sycralisks next, and then Hydras, then Typhon Wars. That said, it definitely isn't like, what can I say? It isn't like battle tested. I don't think he has like the most tenacious composition there at tier 2, and definitely took him a little while to get into tier 2 stuff. I saw no gas caps, we talked about the saturation. There's all these things that are like easy ground for improvements. Honestly, Fenris looking pretty scary, and I'm feeling very smug about my prediction right now.
There it is. The preemptive prediction for 4-0. Let's see if it happens. Toyota has a chance to end Neblime's smugness right here, right now. Game 2 coming up. And we are live here with game number 2. Fenris will continue to be our Jet Black Zerg in the bottom right, and challenging him, Toyota Miguel. He is in the top left, and I think he is Burnt Umber. No, it's Dark Bronze. The Dark Bronze Terran up here is gaming. He's already going for Vespine. This could be a kind of like a delayed Fulcrum here. I say delayed because I'm pretty sure if you want it super fast, you send your first couple workers to it. So where are we feeling? I mean, Toyota's APM spamming it up. He's feeling pretty good. He's warmed up, ready to go. Neblime, are you worried? Are you sweating for Fenris just from that APM?
I mean, is he sort of in the red zone of like nervous or something if you go that high?
No, I mean, Top Ramen goes to 1100 every game at the beginning, so I don't know.
Dang. All right. Well, it is going to be a live Vosk as well. So Fulcrum in TVZ. Look, man, you know I'm just a Stockade fan in any matchup, I guess, but I don't know about this. I really feel like you got to go Stockade versus Zerg. Of course, I guess we'll see what he can show us. We have seen games where some vultures just show up and Zerg dies. That isn't going to be a super fast pool or anything. I just feel like as you build up your army, Fulcrum doesn't really scale anywhere near as well as just a bunch of Mavericks, because they just get more and more damage. That said, it's more robust longer term.
Well, we know that the way Fenris is going to play this is most likely going to be Hydrith. He's still setting up for it, and then he uses the extra resources that he generates on the mineral front to go for that early expand. That's something that maybe Mech will be able to punish, because there's 2 different tiers of attack. You attack the expand, you attack the Hydras. Either one, your army can skirmish with them a little bit better. Obviously Mass Maverick would also do a lot, but Izira cores would help out a bit disproportionately. Compared to versus Mech, I don't think Izira cores are nearly as good, right?
Well, I'm still living in, like, Ascension 7 times. What if you show up with, like, 6 Mavericks, 2 Hurricanes? Say he'd gone double Stockade here at 8.
Yeah.
What is going to have at that time? There's no production structure whatsoever yet, right?
Yeah, he doesn't even put down the Hydrith, so...
He's not going to get punished for this, because the Fulcrum is not even being used. Okay, now Vulture finally comes... Oh, I see, you already made one. Sorry, I missed it. Yep. Okay, well, never mind. He may get punished for this.
It's a Zork opening.
Ooh, he may just lose. If the Vulture just runs and starts killing Drolef, I don't know if Rilla can actually stop that. I mean, we haven't really seen that matchup, I don't think, in a casted match.
No, we have not. Yeah, not yet. I mean, Hit 'em Up has definitely done plenty with the Rilla Rocors, but that was back when they actually had lifesteal. They don't have that anymore. Oh, Toyota loves the mines and the mining.
I mean, he needs to actually kill some though. He can't just stun them, otherwise he will not be ahead here. He's got a mark. Oh, nice target fire though. Really nicely done. Oh, that's gonna stop Rilla Rocors. Man, there's so many Rilla Rocors now. Oh, he gets that mine though. But
he slips through the gas.
Yeah. Well, now he really has to micro, and this is a bit of a problem, Toyota. He has to, like, micro... Oh, he got a circuit. I didn't even realize. He has to micro pretty intensely. Oh, no, he's going to waste those on the lava. What's he doing?
Yeah, I know. That just stops it from generating the Rilla Rocors a little bit.
Remember when it permanently stopped them?
Yeah, well, that's only a bug if they're about to hatch. Don't worry. Those just started. Right. Yeah, the weird thing is, I think maybe Toyota might have forgotten that they actually work on larvae and eggs to begin with.
Yeah, so they do improve war as well, FYI. But anyway.
Yep, yep.
He's going to come across with a Huracan and Maverick here, though. That's a lot more threatening. They can actually start to threaten the Hatcheros. Now, of course, he has to deal with the Rillorocos, but Vultures can handle them just fine. Now, look, his list coming up, though, and then the party is completely over. I wish, having scouted that Zorkis, he just threw down a bunch of star pads. Then he'd be laughing. Just hold the rank
just mass raid.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with Zorkis. There's no Zorkis unit that's going to be good against that. Obviously, one stands out as a lot better than the other two, but it's still just not made for him to, yeah.
Oh, that Kager's going to get nuked immediately. And the Lake is actually kind of getting body blocked by that Vulture. Not quite going to get stunned.
Okay, he's full back. No, he can't fight this. Ooh. Okay,
yeah, that Vulture's dead meat.
Oh, okay, only losing the Vulture, though. At least to bait these Rillorocos out. Oh, man, he lets the Huracan die to them. Not great there. Not the best micro by Toyota here, unfortunately. He does fall back from the Lakers at least. Okay, there we go. Now he's getting out of there.
There's a Goliath right here at the front line. That will definitely help him range down some of this stuff, but he's got so much money back at home. Queues up 2 more Goliaths, and now it's a question of, you know, where is your star pad, son? There it is. Oh, but he's like, no, what if I need an add-on later? And then he moves it.
Well, you know, he might need a lodestone while he's running around. You never know.
He's got some nightmares probably replaying in his head, you see, Neblime, because the last time he played TVZ in a tournament match, it was versus Jack Yelansky, who did Zorkis rush him with Lakis, and like one Lakis, one Zoryus, and somehow he lost that game.
Just like running into his base?
Yeah, I don't know how Toyota flubbed that one personally. But hey, we're talking about his successes right now, and he's getting his expansion. But, you know, slightly better worker count. Definitely forced a lot more defensive play out of Fenris.
The harass wasn't not worth it by any means, but I still feel like Fenris is just winning here. He's got the expansion up. I mean, he's got like a couple more Kegrants ready to go Lavos when he stops making a Kislis.
Okay, he's going to make a circuit. I thought he was going to wait for gas for a Khaztrith and try to get like the extra spread from the Lakers shots.
Well, it would be completely secure if he did that. But even now I'm looking at this, like, you know, Goliaths are sort of tanky enough they can sort of deal with this, but the problem is having to run all the way on top. Man, if you built the Starpad suit or have an Ancil out right now, you never know.
Yeah, doesn't have the gas right now because he threw down a Vestry, and just going to slowly start amassing the necessary requirements.
If I was Terran and I had map packs, I don't think I'd be looking at attacking this, though. I just don't see it working out.
Well, I do think the mass Starpad strat would have styled on this completely, but, you know, that's something that
people gotta realize.
Yeah.
When they see a Zorkis, that just means weak to air. That's the big red, like, neon sign. People got to understand that. I feel like no one really gets that. Because Gorks really are not as scary as they seem.
For a second there, I was about to fall in love with what Fenris just did, but I realized maybe it was a misclick. He was patrolling his Rillorocors on and off the Kagras so that they would just get the restack of their health and then still be scouting from the extremities of the base. I thought that was cute.
Wow, like this attempted scout.
Yeah, one that still skirts out. It's going to walk into a cleric, so not really going to be damaged or anything.
Look at this, like, you know, inverse, like, arrowhead of Lakers. He's ready for the concave.
Yeah, that's a very bold choice. So that one Zeth is going to actually clean up a lot of mines there. Well, 2 mines.
Yeah,
nice. Pretty good.
I mean, it's worth it for a Zeph's cost.
Yeah, of course.
Call this the Ashen Core formation. He's got the circuit at the back to, like, as the main target for the enemy to walk into the crescent. Get annihilated.
Very true, very true. You know, he's actually adding another macro hatch here. No phalanx for Toyota. Means he will not. No, don't do it, Toyota. Don't do it.
I mean, he didn't even set up the Ancil first. No. I don't understand why he went at that moment. No reinforcements arrived, except the Ancil wasn't really there yet. I don't know why he chose then to attack. I'm looking at this right now. In fact, if Fenris realized he could probably just, like, come out and attack. Now, Toyota is getting a third Ministry behind this, but he's not making workers for the ones he has. Okay, there he goes. His worker production has fallen off a lot here, and you can see that Fenris is closing the gap. Not that Fenris wouldn't be able to catch up completely himself, but he is very neglectful of his saturation here, I'm seeing.
He's only... Well, the thing is, Toyota's only now saturating the gas in the natural. At least he's using 3 workers, so he'll... You know, he's paying a little bit in worker efficiency, but getting, you know, a significant amount of gas later on.
If he's going to make this few, but he is continuing to make them. I shouldn't be too harsh. And he's flying out this third ministry, so Toyota doing his best to keep up here, but he does need to scale production a lot. What is he going to make of all this money he's getting? Now, I do like the Palladium. I think the Phalanxes are a fine move here. We'll see what else he gets up to. Yeah, because his army right now is under a lot of danger. I don't think either player realizes how fragile the Terran army is.
Yep, tier 2 coming for Fenris. That was his tactic. He didn't even actually do any Escagant mining or anything here. So after his initial investment in the Lakers, he just banked all gas, eventually got to 900, and now he's going to it.
I think Toyota's thinking tier 2 as well, because he got the gas cap as well, and he's making like the mineral heavy units, the Phalanxes, the Hurricanes. He's not continuing to make Ancils. That's it. He just make another Palladium. But I think we're going to see both players try go tier 2 at least, but here we go. Is there going to be time for Toyota? We need to be so careful. One burrow and volley from those Lakers is going to be absolutely devastating. He needs to get out of here, man.
He doesn't realize how much danger he's in, and Fenris might only now be putting the pieces together.
Uh-oh. Okay, Toyota's camera was over here a minute ago. I think he's going to be on top of it. Yeah, he does pull back a bit. But how are you going to deal with his Lorkers? Oh no, he gets the speed boost. This is what I was
that's so scary. Ooh, the Anseals can still at least help out versus those Lakers. He kills 2 of them, but he loses so much value, so much health on everything else. Focusing down those Lakers as best he can, but the rest of the threat is still here.
Honestly, he almost like, what can you say? Used the aura against him. It seemed like Fenris was too afraid, but obviously this army's smashing through for Zerg, and both players finally realize he pulls back. What's building? So many minerals in the bank. He built another Fulcrum, it's not working yet. What have we got? A couple of Phalanxes? Not the most useful when you don't have a lot of backup. Good against the Lakers, but not the rest of this, really.
One Goliath farming workers down here, though.
Oh! Okay, that's huge. That's a huge deal. I like how he said so many workers there when he doesn't even have a base. When you look at his natural, it's like got half the workers it needs.
Yes.
And he could use a few more as well. T2's done though. Let's see if he has a better idea of what he's going to do. Okay, we do see the Betrothal. I think that's a good sign for his tier 2 here. And again, Convalisk is still just going to be crushing this, especially Vilgoricors actually would be extremely strong against the comp Turner has. But that said, Convalists aren't going to be sleeping either. Either of these would just absolutely decimate.
Yeah, we need to see like Mass Cyprian or something in a safe place in order to deal with the Convalisks, considering their bounce attacks and such. So that's like Cyprian plus frontline, and he has nothing, neither of those really. I guess you could maybe argue the Goliaths can act as that, but
I wonder if you have a really big amount of like magical plus phalanx, what is even good against that at tier 2? Probably still just Vilgoricors, to be honest.
Yeah, you get the shielding. I mean, you need Vilgoricor plus melee, right? That's where the Convalescence can help out a lot because
that's why you spam the Zep's in just for the corpses too.
Yep. Yeah.
Honestly, everything's better with just a lot of Zeps for corpses.
You remember that one game? It was Shopkeeper Doug, Jakulinski, game 4 in their best of 5, and it was on. Shit, I'm forgetting the name again. Vertebra. Whatever.
He's poking the hornet's nest.
Yeah, this is dangerous territory here.
He's gonna try for it. He's
the one Huracan rending a lot of armor there.
The Shaman is keeping it alive, but yeah, he's on top of the phalanxes now. I mean, I don't know. Goliath armor's pretty goddamn good. I did not think he'd get this far. Is he gonna clean this up? No, the Shaman falls. Looks like he will barely overwhelm, but goddamn, that killed a lot more Zerg than I thought it would.
Yeah, no kidding. He's left with only 4 Zoryas to his name. Maybe only 3, actually. Yeah, they're still staying alive. The Cleric doing so much work.
He made exactly the units he needed. The Convalescent and the Vilgoricor. He just needs to spam out a lot more chaff now. I mean, man, this saturation's really hurting him now, by the way. But damn, that killed so much more than I thought it would.
I know, yeah.
There's nothing in these anchors, man, at the third.
I love that. That is the aura. It's like, all right, there you go. Tier 2 on the way now for Toyota.
Each of them, so like the opponent sees some bullets come out, like, oh god, I can't take that.
Yeah. Put a Cestus down for the armor. So fourth base now on the way here.
Is Toyota winning? Because he has the workers, and he's got the infrastructure now to some extent. He's got the Atlas coming as well, and he just sort of wiped the army, so Fenris can't come across and like 1A him right now. Is Toyota winning? I don't know. This army's looking scarier and scarier, though, with all these mage rival units coming out.
It is, but I don't know. I think there's not really that much reliable damage with this army if, of course, you are able to neutralize the Rokors, right? That's like the key detail.
Yeah. He needs like a bunch of Hydras with this, basically, I think. And more Zoryas wouldn't hurt. But I don't know. I mean, if Toyota can just like hold the next attack or like win the next fight, I think he has the game. Assuming he does something sensible at tier 2. I think Toyota's definitely experienced enough. He knows what to make. I mean, basically just make some apostles and you're good to go.
The one Cyprian in the middle of nowhere as a scout. I don't know about that one.
He's going. Oh, he's after him. No.
The Gosvalet's in the bottom left for Fenris. Going to be harvesting that stuff over here.
Very nice. I'd love to see it. Oh, there goes the Cyprian. Didn't even try and fight back, man.
No, but hey, Fenris actually scouts up here that there's another base, and he sees the 2 anchors. I don't know if he'll put 2 and 2 together that actually the anchors were empty.
Still going to be empty. Yeah, he moves up one of them, and it's still empty. I'd love to see some sentinels, honestly. No, there's not sentinels. No, don't build them out here unless you're going to put defenses.
Do it. Neblime wishes for you to make more production structures.
Oh, stop! Stop doing all this. Just make a sentinel, please.
Yes. Yes, all of my tier 2 production.
So much room in the main. I guess at least being Terran, he can lift away if he has to, but I mean,
well, he doesn't. He has hardly any units. They're all up in the main base choke there, plus out here on the front. So Fenris could go for a surround on this chunk of the army and really knock him back a little bit.
Yeah,
oh no, the one really Rokor. Oh, thank God they killed it before this. Siege
Showdown is
shots.
not fit to fight this. Like, again,
Yeah.
if he's an offensive posture against the Sentinels, he'd be okay, but it's just about Fenris realizing his true strength. And
Well, now that
collapsing.
Toyota's adding in a couple of, he doesn't really have any healing right now. I guess he has the Shamans. If he gets really, really good positional gameplay, Cyclops are not a terrible answer to the Rokors, because you kill them all while the Shamans keep you self-heal.
No, you need a lot of Shamans for that, though. 2 is not enough. I feel like the amount that these Convalists are going to be spamming on, you are going to get pretty crushed by your own splash. Not
Yes,
to mention
it's very risky, and if the Shamans get killed on the way, then you're down in the dumps because you're going to kill yourself faster, right? It reaches an inflection point.
Durandal's coming out. Now, they will do an okay job, but I feel like you need quite a lot of them. Oh, here we go. The engage is going to go down, not siege. But does he even want to be siege? Uh-oh. Now the arc coming in. Oh, I think it's going to be devastation here. Convalist starting to get the shots in from the back. Swarming all over him. There's the snare coming down. Yes, so many swarms coming down.
He's not targeting those Convalists. Now he starts to, but it's too late. That's a total wipe of the army right now. He's reset to just the Durandals and Heracles that he's got.
Oh, he's bringing
if he can stall enough for the Cataphracts, he might be able to mount the defense, but it just doesn't seem likely. There's nothing in those anchors.
They're ready to defend, but he's not intimidated. He knows Durandal's doing their best to clean up. They are good at that, but they're just going to fall so quickly once the actual DPS gets here. The quad's adding a lot of nice damage, actually. Although the armor is definitely reducing it, it's very cheap, so I don't mind it. And yeah, he will just crush through here. There's not much left. There's a little bit of the rally, but do you even engage? Well, imagine if all this was in the main. He might have a little more time.
He might. Just enough time to get his Cataphracts out. Instead, the Mantles will be torn down. It looks like 2 of them will go down before the Cataphracts finish, unless Fenris changes his targets. No, the Almax providing so much value, and only 2 Catas is not nearly enough. Tudor, the Ob says hash. Well, I don't think it matters at this point, buddy.
Oh, there's lots of people in here.
Yeah, well, that's the admin. That was Judah.
I mean, those Almax actually make a lot of sense if you think about it. Because all the random crap on the front line, the Convies and the Dolgoricors that just take up all the shots, and then the Almax just one-shot everything. GG.
That's a wrap there. Fenris will end up taking the match. And, you know, there's a lot of opportunity, it felt like, for Toyota to get something done there. But now Fenris is up to a 2-0 start. And who knows what's going to happen going forward. Tudor will have an opportunity for redemption, but...
Dude,
man.
Well, total reverse of the last game. I feel like Fenris had a very solid tier 2 there. He knew exactly what he was get. I mean, he should say that he needs to add more tier 1 spam in there. You don't underestimate what just having a lot of Hydras plus that will do. But other than that, like, his tier 2 was really perfect. Whereas Fenris was not as organized. Not that I think he was making bad moves. I think he was making the right stuff, but he was not getting any sentinels or anything, didn't lay out his base. He was just a bit disorganized. And even though he was in a pretty good position, he lost his army and got punished. Imagine the scenario instead where he makes like 10 sentinels between the natural and the third. I think he can hold and get a bunch of tier 2 units up. And like, if he has a bunch of apostles and cataphracts, I mean, that's pretty scary.
It's really interesting as a point to say that, Toyota wasn't necessarily playing organized. I think that's very thematic for him, because if you ever watch his POV when he streams, he is constantly using middle mouse button to just spasm his camera nonstop. It's actually it is really, really, it's like, it's like the filmmaker has some real bad shakes or something. What's going on here? That's basically what it's like watching Toyota try to play. When I was trying to cast a Weekend War from his POV, I had to switch off of his POV quite a few times just to save myself the motion sickness. So, hey, if Toyota's just like that, maybe he adapts to it, lives in the madness. But so far, it looks like Fenris is able to respond. Now, again, Toyota had some opportunities where he could have played a bit differently in the early stages of the game, got further ahead. He could have capitalized a little bit better on it, but at the end of the day, Fenris did look like the overall better player in that. It's not like it was necessarily a fluke win. Yeah. So we're going to have to see, can somebody upseed him? And of course, Tudor will have his opportunity up next. So join us for Game 3. And we are getting into this particular matchup. It's once again ZVZ here. Tudor, the Eggshell Blue Zerg, challenging Fenris, the Jet Black Zerg. And Tudor in the top right of Radium, a map by Biddy B. Of course, we got Fenris here in the bottom left. So, whilst I update that very important border and such, we can take another look at the ZVZ. Do you think Tudor has learned his lesson? Because he's still harvesting Vespian instead of going straight for the 7 pool.
Well, I mean, if he went for a 7 pool, I'm sure he would have heard the casters retrospectively, time traveled, and would have made Zeph. But he's not doing that, so he's free to do whatever he wishes other than that. But he's got to hope it's not a replay of what we saw before. And in fact, he doesn't even know his opponent's Zerg right now, right?
Fenris.
So I guess to be fair,
Fenris.
Right.
Tudor is random.
Silly me. Well, I guess that's still a point though. But he seems to like the Hydra first. I wish I was here and I'd just send my simulacrum across and see what he does against that. But alas, no Protoss today. It looks like I'm just assuming Fenris wins, man. I don't have high hopes here for Tudor. I got to say, after that first game, again, I'm feeling good about my prediction. Fenris just looks like a class above these players. Hint, hint, Pr0nogo.
Hint, hint. Yeah. Well, listen, I definitely think if he's not like really pressured in the early stages of the game, because he did make some mistakes in the early hold, like maybe the first 10-15 minutes was a lot less clean than the sort of close that Fenris had in that last game. He's a bit slow to punish Mr. Tudor here, who's also making a pair of Rilla Rocors. I guess he's just trying to spend his larva down for one round. And it looks like he'll be going for the Shroud as well. No, it is a Hydrith then. Okay. Just a little bit of excess money.
I think that's just his identity here. He's going to be Hydrith all the time, I expect.
Well, that was Fenris in game 1, so I don't know. I mean, Tudor here went for the pool, and in the first game, he's changed up his strategy, and now revealed that he is Zerg with that scout.
Look at this spicy Kagran. I mean, he sees that, right? If he cares to look. I know a lot of the time people don't notice these subtly colored morphs. I think he sees it. No, he doesn't see it. Oh my god. Okay, now this is out of range of the worker line, but you can at least kill that Kagran, I guess, and you can sort of... Sorry, Lavos. Oh no, he sees it just in time. Although, are these units good enough? The Rilla Workers have armor pen, so I guess he's going to get it. It's kind of close, though.
He cancels it.
It might well have finished, although... Oh, look, there's so many more. Would not have been worth it. So, fair enough.
Yeah, and by canceling it, you make sure you get your Droleth back once it does eventually die, thanks to that regression. There is already a Circuith up here that Tudor does not respect. Oh. That's a dead Droleth as a result. But the Hydrith is done for both players now.
Why did he absorb Tudor's worst move, making this Circuith that doesn't actually cover anything?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Imagine Tudor had saved Lava, ran in with 3 Azura cores. What are you going to do? Like, he's going to run around. They will not respect the Rilla Rocors in the slightest. And, there you go, your workers, But then again, what if it's Fenris with the Azura cores?
It is Fenris with the Azura cores.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to leave and go attack, but no.
Nope. No need for that. There is an expansion on the way for Tudor. So the Shu is on the other foot. He's actually got a better worker count. Obviously faster expansion timing there. Fenris now clearing the area. A little bit of a mineral float as he gets his second Larvosk up. What is our status on the production? Yeah, actually, Tudor is going to be a little bit behind in terms of production for as soon as this hatch finishes for Fenris. Unfortunately, Fenris did place it off kilter, so that's a big ripperoni there on some of those mineral efficiencies. In fact, more than half of them. It looks
like it's closer to the gas, though. Like is it better for the rich?
I guess, yeah, it probably is marginally better for the rich. I don't know why.
I'm sure the third worker just does the same amount, right? But,
yeah.
There's worse things that can happen, to be honest. I feel like Zerg can just kind of oversaturate after a point, so I'm not too mad about it. But hey, Tudor is the one getting the faster expansion this time, so I'm liking it. But he's down a Larvosk, that's the consequence. So it may ultimately be better for Fenris, but he's drolling better, I should say.
Yeah, he's got both players going for the ski back. And yeah, I mean, like, Tudor has even production for the time being, but as soon as that hatch pops in the natural, which it does now for Fenris, he is indeed down 1 larva every 14 seconds. Looks like he's going to go ahead and add 2 more, which would be a good correction.
Yeah, look, everything on paper looks like, well, Tudor's doing well. If they just build up, like, some Hydrith army and just both aim move into the center, theoretically, Tudor's going to win. So let's see what happens next. More Azura cores coming out. We are in the Azura core Renaissance, aren't we? Zorgy's coming up for Tudor, and if he's just going to mix in like a bunch of Zorgus behind in front of the backs, I like it a lot, and that will just be a superior army to pure Hydra backed.
Could very well be the case. I wonder if Tudor took note of the fact that Toyota was triple saturating the gas instead of only double. That kind of makes me feel like maybe that would cause me some questions as a fresh player, but. Fenris won, and he only was putting 2 workers on gas, right? So that anti-third worker propaganda has been spreading everywhere.
Seatriff coming up, by the way. Look, I think it's good for Zerg in general, but maybe not in Zerg versus Zerg. It really depends on the situation. I mean, look, if you're going for the Zorgies, if he's thinking of making like a bunch of Lakers, just using that to secure the third and taking the game longer, then I do like 3 on gas. But if you're doing anything that involves sort of fighting your opponent on the map, if you're like Hydra or whatever, I don't like it. So I don't know, there's nuance there.
Yes, I think that's the best place to be, is when there's nuance to the decision.
Yeah.
But of course, players are like, no, what do I do to win? So, they want the easy answer.
You're 7-pool, obviously.
Yeah.
Still
Fenris going for an Avila.
I think it's just the best opening. Overlife, okay, yeah. I mean, either you can get the scout or the drop. I keep bemoaning. Where are the quads drops, man? They can be devastating.
Even Zeth drops EVZ, in a situation where you can go after those Larvosks. Obviously, it's a little bit weaker if people are going to start preemptively putting Rokars patrolling because they slow the Zeths or whatever, and then they give you time to respond.
I mean, 6 deaths would eat that in like half a second, though.
Yeah, I agree. Still very good. So it is going to be the Khaz'Trith hold here, and the Ovalith actually gets bopped by this random enclave of Zerg that were just waypointed over in that location.
Yeah, what are they doing in that exact spot?
Tudor apparently has the prescient move now. He's imbibed the spice.
Why is everyone always in Fenris' face with their inferior army that Fenris could kill at any moment? Why is that always what's happening?
Yeah, I know. He's actually mutating 3 more backs right there on the spot. And Fenris is... Well, actually, he is the wiser because his Ovalith flies over it again!
Oh my god! Oh, it's like...
Oh, there's a 3 health! Imagine needing the Izira core to tap it once. I can't believe
If he wasn't morphing those, he would have killed it.
Gorga Core is on the way for Fenris. We actually haven't seen any Zorius units used by Tudor yet. He made the structure, but he's not using it.
Yeah, right? So, I don't know, kind of falling apart a bit after a theoretically strong opening. He's still ahead on the workers, mind you. But he needs to get these backlists out of here, man. They are about to get slaughtered. As soon as Fenris just leaves his base, oh, he's going in. Oh, I don't like it.
He's trying to hunt for anything that he can do here. Maybe he could try to kill the Gorgs, but that is, yeah. As soon as he sees that, he's like, I'm out of here. See ya.
I think he's going to catch him and kill all these. I don't think he's going to make it.
Ovalith dies in the natural. Yeah, I think those backs are gone. He could try to split them.
Well, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 of them will make it home, actually. Or maybe more. Well, let's see. The Gorg Core's doing a great job here of trying to run them down. Oh, no, don't turn a fight. You're never going to win.
Don't even try.
He's not even going to kill anything. Yeah, no, now he's not going to make it home. Okay, he's got the Khaz'Trith here, but what has he got? A bunch of Izira cores. That's not really going to do it. I think he's
making 5 of his own Gorgs. And that's not terrible because, as long as you're fighting around the Khaz'Trith. But if you step outside of that area, you are toast. So let's see what Tudor does here. 7 Hydras also on the way.
Work on melee attacks?
Yeah, it works on everything.
It does? Oh my god, that's kind of crazy with Gorga Force. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Without a lot of backlists of his own, he's only got a few. This does look a little dicey for Fenris. Look, to be honest, if I was here, I'd probably still try it, but then I'd probably lose my army and be like, oh. Because I guess the Azura cores are going to do a lot as well.
Technically, the Khaz'Trith doesn't work on diadems and a few other things. But for Zerg, I'm pretty sure it works just about everything. Diadem is just kind of a hard-coded mess right now.
I mean, fair. It is kind of...
Yeah. It's doing things that were not meant to be done in this engine, that's for sure.
It's going for the counter, and Fenris has not invested any into defense. So as long as Tudor can defend, which with all these Hydras now, it's looking like a pretty solid proposition. Especially if he could a few more backs, which he's doing right now.
Oh no, he's waypointed 2 Bactals in. That was a big mistake. Super unforced error. You don't scout with those, my friend.
A couple of skiffs, but what are they going to do? And there's no chance of harass if you look at Tudor's main. That is well prepared. I think he has experienced skiffs, whereas perhaps Fenris has not. But it's not skiffs you need to worry about.
No, the Gorgs are swooping on in.
Yeah, and they can kill every Larvosk, no problem, every Larvosk.
There is nothing here. Fenris hasn't even noticed it yet, and as soon as they attack, it's going to happen. He's going to try to burrow the workers, I imagine. They've already lost. He's lost like 7, 8 workers already. He's not pulled the trigger. He's only now looking. And he just... No, that's not what you want. You're making more food for them.
He's retreating from the attack, which, I don't know, maybe if he attacked, I guess he probably wouldn't have broken through, so what are you going to do? But this is devastating now. Although, interestingly, he's still, on par for workers with how many he was just producing. He's going to lose the main Hatchros! I can't believe how quickly they're doing damage to this thing.
Oh yeah, that's a dead hatch. There's nothing here that he can defend with. He's making the skits, sending them over. He was producing workers, he caught him slipping.
Yeah.
And maybe that's actually, it's not intentional, but this might have actually been a legit play there insofar as, oh man, Tudor doesn't have any mining going on in his natural. He's clumped them up!
What a miss by Tudor. He could have killed every single one.
He might still do it anyway.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you can save these now somehow...
Not quite.
Maybe not, but it's still worth it. It's still definitely a move to go to those Drollers.
He's gonna actually scout the 4th base here as well in the process. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the thing. Tudor making 11 back, 6 Hydra. He will not be broken no matter what Fenris throws at him. But I want to highlight, I said earlier, where are the Zorius units? That, he made the Zorkish Shroud. There's no Zorius, no Lakes, certainly no Gorgs. What's going on? Turns out, the Gorgs are what he builds, and I don't even know if it was scouted at the time when they left the base, so if they were, Fenris clearly didn't clock it, so...
It's going back to natural for another round, although there are 2 Spraves here now, so perhaps not. They have the Air Force in hot pursuit. Can he get another draw left? No.
No, not quite. But, He's definitely going to keep putting the fear of God in Fenris at this point. And Tudor coming on down with his big old ball. He can just shut down that 6 o'clock. There's a nicely placed like
more Hydras for Tudor here. I wonder if that's the comp. Although more skiffs coming out. I don't know about skiffs here. That's not what I would pick. I mean, if you look at what Fenris have, what are the skiffs fighting? They're definitely not fighting his main anymore. Well, maybe his main in particular, but everywhere else is strafed up now. So there's still though free kill on his base. He's got his own third coming up. If he could just roll up a little more, he'd be looking good here.
Well, he's still got that advantage macro-wise. He's going to shut down. He already killed the Hatteros there. Only now is he going to start getting back to mining. He's lost the 6 o'clock for Fenris. So, yeah, I mean, Tudor definitely in commanding lead of the game. He's actually going to retreat. And his skits are probably going to go for some kind of counterpunch. He might feel like maybe Fenris is going to use the info on his army positioning to try to counterattack. And what's the positive EV play in a nutshell here? I do think Tudor probably could have just done a run-by on that base instead, just to confirm where the army was. And then, you know, still kills it if it's unprotected, doesn't kill it, but doesn't, like, reveal that his entire army is out of position, you know, if he can't actually finish the job. And so then he wouldn't have to feel like he has to fall back just to counter. And so now he comes across the map, though, still very much in the position. Yeah.
Look, the skips. There's no strafes in the main. Oh, my God.
He just rebuilt it, and now that forward rollouts are going to be destroyed. So now the whole army is going to respond to this, right? And this is going to leave opportunity for Tudor to just charge in and kill the third base. Not that it has any workers on it anyway.
And he get the 1-2 punch where he goes in and takes out the third. That would be a game-winning move, quite frankly. Looks like these skiffs are going to get a bit cornered. They need to try and get out of there as best they can.
One of those Gorgs is going to go down. A lot of those Gorgs very, very wounded for Fenris. Yeah. The skits are fighting. Tudor not making the attack, though. That is a little bit of a missed opportunity.
I mean, really nice micro from Tudor here, actually. He's getting good shots on the Gorgs, but he needs to not overextend. Okay, he's going to take them out. I mean, so far, so good.
Well, I think he confirmed some of the ground army now. He's like, okay, now I can push on through. Only 2 Gorgs waiting for him. I think he's done it. Fenris just went for a tier 2. It's not going to be enough. He doesn't have any income here. 35 workers, but most of them feel like they were not mining.
Well,
lost the main base, lost the third, lost the fourth.
Tudor has a whole lot of money, but he has to figure out how to spend somehow.
He doesn't. He can just win first. Tier 2 on the way for him, though.
Well, let's see. I don't think his army right now can actually break through. Well, he does have a lot of backs, actually. Maybe he can.
I think he's gonna aim move that Khaz'trith as a matter of course if he decides to pull the trigger. But he's reduced his opponent's worker count so substantially. Main base is going to deplete before really. I think Tudor will have to worry about his opponent expanding anytime soon.
So much money in the bank for Tudor, but Fenris is like desperately scraping for minerals. That's just not fair, is it?
Can I borrow some? Well, the Zets and Claws just came out.
If he loses that Khaz'trith, there's no way to hold. Okay, he's going to push back in front of it again. Although he's getting out to the killing zone.
Oh, this is real dangerous here. The Ovolith coming out just in case there were some Lake is. Nice play. Obviously, it is going to go down, but the nice thought is there. And, you know, the Khaz'trith is trying to make these Bactalisks do something, but there's just way too much here. Zets are pouring in as well, just to add a little bit more fuel to the fire. Couple Zoryas hatch for Fenris, but I don't think that's going to be nearly enough. This Bactal count is still so high. And despite the very advantaged position for Tudor, Fenris just kind of has his number here. He is going to actually fall back. Doesn't want to deal with those empowered Bactals anymore. Now he's going to try to hit him with it.
Yeah, get him out of the buff zone. But he is outnumbering him back just now, isn't he? Or was it even numbers? So, well, he falls back again. Not going to break through right now, but I mean, it's a good enough trade. With how much money Tudor has, like, come on, man, make something. He's making
Mutat's Fire. He's just going to go Mutas for it. I don't know, man.
Why does everyone have to make it at the third? Oh my god. Imagine there was like, I don't know, 3 Zephs hiding on the map the whole game or something just showed up. You'd be crying.
Oh, it's the Ultrav Cavern for Fenris. I mean, the thing is, Tudor is kind of throwing by literally not spending his money, right? Like, that's just obscene.
Yeah, if you make Zarks here, look, I don't know how many he's going to be able to afford, like 2.
Yes, that's the
He
problem.
need a lot to deal with any amount of Mutalisks. Calculate coming on as well. But no Oxal Lava or anything, so it's going to have to be those Mutaf units. I'm trying to think... would you make Lakers here? I mean, not Lakers, sorry. Lyrilisk. They start with an L, so I'm like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you could do... They would basically... They would run straight through, and like, they do compete with Bactalisks a little bit. Obviously, they're cheaper, right? So.
Yeah, so many minerals that, like, this isn't even a bad move. Even if he just, like, kills this Kagran, it's totally worth it. But it is going to be very one-sided.
Hey, killed the Kagran, though. That's, like you said, that's worth it.
For a cost of, like, you know, 200 minerals or whatever. It's pretty reasonable exchange for Tudor at this point.
11 pairs of Mutalisks are about to hatch, and no, that's not bad.
Air units in his opponent's main. It's like, why not just intensify that?
Well, yeah, he went from Gorgs to Skith, now Mutas, and they are earmarked for the main base. You can kind of tell.
Yep.
The Bactalisk's actually falling back. The Zet's watching over the front line, like, hey, what's going on, guys? Ultra Core's being mutated.
Pretty good anti-air, but they're not capable of dealing with that.
No, and if Fenris, it would be heartbreak, but it might happen if he decides to leave with his Ultra Cores, thinking maybe I can do some kind of crazy timing and try to control my opponent's growth. But this is the inverse of game 1. Tudor playing with his food, not realizing how far ahead he really is, and Fenris just kind of holding on, not realizing how far behind he really is. His 22 mutas are going to swoop in. He does not have the tools to stop this. This is a rare moment where I think the mutas could actually beat the army, because remember, there's no Kha'Zixes to empower that anti-air.
Well, you got to be careful though. The amount of splash from those Zero Cores and Backdoors, I think these mutas could be wiped if they just brazenly go on. But they just take their damage and they fly away, yeah, and that's really painful for Fenris, and he can still just come back in. The 2 sprays to the natural also not going to do anything. The ultras are done. Oh, here we go.
They could bruise those ultras a little bit. They obviously can't lifesteal versus air. Catches the Droleth. And another one moving over to that third base, so that's not going to happen.
He's playing Food War mutas right now, just running around picking stuff off. He's going to come back in. What are you going to do? Like, you can't ever leave your bases, Fenris, because your buildings aren't going to do enough to defend. Although he doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah, Fenris is going to come in now. He made another round of Hydras. I don't think that's going to be nearly enough, though. This is going to be the killing blow. Even though Tudor is kind of making stuff at home now, has spent down his gas at the very least. It's pretty dire here for Fenris. He's evacuating everything, going for a desperate move onto Tudor's position, and Fenris will not get out 4-0. Instead, I don't know. This is bait. You don't go after the Iral Iris. You go after the things the Iral Iris enables, because then you're actually stopping the tech from coming.
To think of the morale blow and stuff like, oh no, my tier 2 is done, my only option. In fact,
well, think about the Mutat Spire in the third base.
Ah, it's going down. Look at that. So all the mutas will drop dead instantly, right? Like that one campaign mission.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Unfortunately for Fenris, even if that did happen, look at all this stuff.
Yeah, he sees his own Ultra Cores, right? He's like, my one edge actually just completely counted, man. Ultra Core versus Ultra Core is a funny fight. GG.
GG. Hey, we very rarely get to see Ultra Core v Ultra Core. I'm glad that we do get to see that at the very end, even though this game has been over for a little bit of time. So that is going to wrap it. Tudor actually gets on the board before Toyota, which I wasn't actually counting on, and that means that Fenris is a little bit bruised here. Toyota will challenge Tudor, and we'll see what happens with Tudor. Like, will he get Zerg again? I don't know. But if he doesn't, then he might be in a little bit of a tough situation there going up against Fenris in the rematch, because I still think Fenris has the better control and the better overall stuff, but Tudor did come with a plan. You got to respect that.
Well, did he lie to you? And deep down, he really just went Zerg. They just told you he went random.
Could be the case. Could be the case. Well, we might find out a little bit of evidence towards that conspiracy in game 4, which is coming up right now. And we are live, and Tudor has gotten Zerg yet again in the top right of Paradise, a map selected by Toyota Miguel. Much better, he says. I don't know what that means. Maybe they had to redo for their colors, or... No, I don't think so. I think... they must have... Yeah, there was something about the net. Maybe they went to DBC or something for it. Yeah. You never know. You never know. Yeah,
okay,
both players are in
there. Tudor was actually just Zerg. He changed his mind or something.
Yes. Now he's only playing Zerg. I am vaguely remembering that he might have pinged me and said, Pr0nogo, I got this 4 times in a row, which is a total spoiler of the group, by the way. I don't know if that's true. I guess we'll find out. But obviously...
Now that we've seen the Zerg plays, I guess not so much of a spoiler. Okay, Stockade coming up this time, but we have gas mining. What's the idea here?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I have something to say, but I have to get my color guesses out of the way first. I think Toyota is Maya Blue. Oh, it's Arrow. And Tudor is... Chestnut? Burnt Umber. Okay, yeah, that was an impossible one. Okay, listen. Toyota is going Stockade. As a general thought, I wanted to start talking about this, like waxing, lyrical, philosophical, etc., about Terran openers, because you were talking about how you think Stockade Open is really, really good in all matchups, and I think so too, but crucially, Fulcrum Open does give you more like immediate map control with vultures and like other things you can do, other jaunts you can do. The strength of the bio opener, in my opinion, is that you have the flexibility of where you allocate your next bit of Vespine, because you're almost never spending a lot of gas on things, right? Now, Toyota's kind of cutting stuff for here. I don't know what exactly he's doing with that idle worker. He's going to send it back to mine. But you can go for a very fast, stockade into Starpad or double stockade into whatever you want here. Toyota has 100 Vespine. I think that might be what he's planning. And he's just going to go like Maverick Drop or something. You could do a really, really fast timing that way. And on a 4-spawn map where you might not get scouted first, that is very unpredictable. Might give Toyota a nice victory here.
Yeah, I mean, if you just drop with 8 maps really early, you can do a lot. As I recall, there was that one Highwater game versus Shambler I played, where I just kind of like started dropping all over the place, and even though he had defenses, it was just sort of like attacks coming from all directions. Not that other Highwater game versus Shambler, it was also TVZ, where I didn't do so good with drops. Let's forget that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely potential, but he does get the Fulcrum. Now, I am a fan of the Maverick plus Phalanx. I think it's a good combo. But that said, I think if you go double stockade, you really should just get put pressure with like 8 units or so, because Zerg can just die if they're not careful.
My favorite opener for a while, TVZ, before the Goliath got adjusted further, and it might still be good now, is if you go Maverick, waypoint immediately every Maverick across, you go stockade, and then your follow-up is Fulcrum, and you waypoint every Goliath across. You skip Vultures entirely, you just go straight to Goliath after that. And you can get Maverick Goliath, and it's such a difficult comp for Quaz specifically to handle. Like, any Quazeth pool opener is going to struggle versus that, and that's actually what we see Tudor doing here. Obviously, there's no Goliath in the works just yet. The Fulcrum only now finishing up back at home.
Well, he doesn't know where his opponent is. He sent a whole bunch of Quaz down to the bottom right, which might cost him now, because he's only got 4 Quaz to defend. Are we going to see a stim here? If
no stim here.
I don't think you really win. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he's going to charge forward, and he had bruised some of those Quaz earlier, and these are bloodthirsty, camera-shaking Mavericks charging up the ramp. Oh, no, he's only got 3 pairs of Quaz coming up, but he doesn't have anything to defend. Now they're going to get hunted down. This is a good, idea to unburrow after. He kind of decollide some of those Mavericks, but he needed to reburrow them immediately, and the really Rokors come out. Not in time to really do too much. There's a stim. They can still win this fight. Maverick stims are so powerful, but Toyota does not fall back. He is going to get cleaned up here. Still did a ridiculous amount of damage, more than double his opponent's worker count. Has plenty of stuff coming with the Palladium out of that Fulcrum. Obviously, did delay his spending a little bit, but Toyota looking so strong as he has a second Fulc.
Yeah, man, he could just come across again, I think. Well, it's mostly Huracan, though, which are a bit kiteable. I think if we had, like, just 2 Huracans, say, and a whole bunch of Mavs, then another attack would be on the cards. As it stands, he's going to wait here. I hope he doesn't just wait for a Phalanx. I really think he should just come across and attack again, because then Tudor is forced into choosing between catching up on workers and making military units. As it is, he's making the draw left, so he's very vulnerable to another attack here. I don't know what he was thinking, not drone scouting and just sending those quads down all the way to the bottom right. Like, just confidently sending 6 quads to the bottom right immediately really cost him there.
Yeah, that was definitely a whiff. And here's the other part, is that Toyota scouted his opponent first with his Mason. Tudor's Droleth scout went to the bottom left. So he cross-scouted at the first instead of doing the box scout or the end scout, which does kind of open you up into rough spots. Like, not that Tudor would necessarily know this, but on a map like Paradise, the closest spawn is going to be, the horizontal one, right? The one that's, if you're top right, top left is the closest. That's the one that you got to worry about a rush from. And that's exactly what happened here. And Tudor was none the wiser because he didn't scout that one first.
Well, he's going to get the Phalanx out here, and I guess if you delay your attack, your opponent makes circuits. You don't care if you've made a Phalanx, because he's going to siege that, and it looks like that is his plan. It's going to be very difficult for Tudor to do anything about it. Now, the Vornaf is on the way. There's not that many Mavs. I wonder if you can make enough Nav recourse to, like, snipe the Phalanxes, but I don't know. That's kind of dicey. Much better, I think, to try and make a bunch of Vorvs, possibly, to get in the straight-up engagement. Either way, these Circuit aren't going to do it as long as he just patiently sieges his way in, keeps reinforcing. There'll be possible to deal with army here, or if he A moves in here, though, he could still lose. That Khazitra going to do a lot. Maybe not so much against Huracan, so he just pull back.
Yeah, this is wise. Phalanx definitely going to be very, very important here. Ministry leaving.
Come down quickly. Yeah.
I don't know, the way that I'm seeing this here, he doesn't quite have enough income to get double Phalanx out.
No, they are very expensive.
He's also gonna delay whatever he's trying to construct here. Is he going for a fast third base off of this? I don't know. That's really weird.
No Watchdog though. These Navs could come across and turn the game. Like, he really needs to put the pressure on now. I think he's committing a huge mistake by not getting in there and sieging as soon as possible. He's giving Zerg a lot of breathing room. And I feel like if these Navs go across and start hitting his workers and he's still not sieging, he's actually going to lose. Oh, some Zets
do end up getting sacrificed, though. Tudor now revealing. And, when you see your enemy lose a couple of units, that might goad you into moving a bit further forward.
Yeah. Which is actually good for Terran, though. He should be doing that. Oh, these poor quads. Okay, the Navs, are they going to try and defend? There are a lot of them. I think there's enough Navs to deal with them on their own, but maybe a combined attack. Let's see.
He's kind of fighting away from the Khazitra. This is kind of a big mistake here from Tudor. The bio is going to get on top, and it doesn't really matter that the Phalanxes are going to die, I think. Oh, they might not anyway.
Ooh, they got
the Unsiege not quite fast enough. Yeah,
that's not very many Mavs, though. How many more Navs would you really need to clean this? Love to see
their anti-ground is pretty poor now, so... You have to remember, this is not Acropolis 2, where the Nats were much more powerful versus ground.
Yeah, but Nats are pretty squishy, man. I feel like you don't need that many. I mean, obviously they die, but they also will kill the Mavs quickly. So if you have a critical mass, I feel like you can just wipe them. Now,
Watchdog's already up, though.
Come up in time. Yeah, big hesitation, but it doesn't really matter. These Mavs are here.
Yeah, jumping right onto them there. Good play from Toyota. Khazitra remorphing after it got killed by the bio. And again, this is a position where I do think that Toyota didn't need to unsiege and cancel all attacks. Watchdog's coming up in the natural just in time to stop those Nats, of course, from doing anything. Here come the Zets. They will be able to clean that one Phalanx. Oh, maybe not. The stims come out really, really nicely there, and Tudor is just in the thick of it right now. The circuits ask they're acting as discount Scortriths right now with the Khazitras, but the problem is still very, very risky there.
Toyota was very hesitant to get in Siege Train, giving Zerg a lot of time, but now the game is on. Can he get in there for these Zoyus hatch? Ooh, a bunch of Zephs coming out. No stim right now. Will he get that one?
Yes.
Well, some help. He will.
There you go. Yeah, I think he might have even had it anyway, but definitely with that extra bit of damage. Now, there is a drop coming, and it has 2 Mavericks, a Vulture, and a Phalanx.
Oh, the multitask drop. Sorry, the multi-unit drop, I should say. No, what's in the main? Nothing, right? If these units are down the natural, trying to worry about this little sieging here, he's going to do a lot of damage. We need to go in now. Toyota's army seems to always not be going in quite aggressively enough, I have to say.
Yeah, listen, I know this sounds absolutely blasphemous to say, but even after all these moves that Toyota's been making, he just hasn't been making units. Like, he doesn't really have that much here. Tudor could, he has no idea, but Tudor could walk across the map right now and get so much damage dealt. There's 4 Mavericks going to be sacrificed. Here comes the drop, though.
Yeah, if you can pull him back, maybe, but it does kind of look like Tudor could just, A-move him right now. The thing is, Tudor spread himself way too thin, getting, 2 Palladiums and the Star Pad making Trojans and, all these Watchdogs and Anchors and stuff, when he really needs to focus on production. Now, he has some money now. Again, these friggin' mines in the mineral line, dude, it's not really worth it. I mean, it's going to help a little bit here, but look at that, his own units just get stunned. But hey, he did some damage. It was kind of worth it, but I wish he could have stayed and saved that Phalanx. I mean, I guess he did stay, just didn't save the Phalanx.
He'll save the Maverick. One man will live.
Okay, all right. He's gonna need some
the Larvosk did die. Tudor is not mining from his main base whatsoever, and so still very much an economically favorable position for Toyota. He actually has units in those anchors, which is an improvement from before.
You know, I would have loved to just see Ancials instead of Trojans because he had the position out front. He just kept reinforcing that, really staying on top of his macro. I think he'd just have had an insurmountable army and busted through. Now, as is, I don't think Zerg can get in here. This doesn't look like a good proposition. He knows it. He does pull back.
Yeah, if he was observant, he'll see that bottom anchor didn't have anything in it. And actually, only one of the anchors shot at all because there's 2 Hurricanes in the other one. So maybe that might give him a little bit of confidence there, but then the Hurricanes will surprise attack.
They would be good against the Zoyus, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it was going to work with the stuff he had in the main as well. And you know that Trojan actually has stuff in it, by the way?
Yep, it does, yeah.
It would have been dicey at best, I think.
Third base for Mr. Tudor. And the anchors are also leaving the building just to push out a little bit further outside the natural so they can get a more of a defensive position. This is a classic Toyota game, but he does have the ability to drop a lot of units if he wants to, especially with that Trojan returning. Well, he needs to unload 1 unit to put a Phalanx in. He's just, he's kind of synced himself out here.
I'd love to see the Siege Phalanx drops. I mean, obviously it's slow to deploy, but it's still totally a thing. He's still quite quick to get a shot out, right? And you drop down, take some shots, pick up again. I mean, he can still drop and siege them, but it would be a bit slower. And honestly, unsieged Phalanx are not really that good a unit to be dropping, but let's see what he can get done here.
Yep, as long as he's fast and nimble with the fingers, there's plenty of drop zones on Paradise's Naturals. That's a hallmark of the map, actually, that you can get hit by air harass and drop harass pretty easily. You have
to make concessions to the mechanical difficulty of the game, though. I feel like it's not the high skill play to say, no, I'll just drop in and click it real quick. It's the high skill play to say, all right, let's be realistic about what I can do. But hang on, he is going to siege him.
Well, he's going to kill one of his own Mavericks there, but that's still okay. He shuts down the mining in this base.
Needs to focus fire. Where are the Hurricanes? They need to get on that. Then again, they are avoiding getting splashed by their own Phalanx by staying back. But no reaction from Tudor. His army's just AFK as his natural gets deleted. Well, shows me for saying the Phalanx weren't a good idea to drop.
Yeah, they're going to work out okay. The Khazitras will go down as well. The Mavericks are getting eaten up,
please
unfortunately.
Rescue them, Please don't just let them die. Hang on, who's letting who die?
Yeah, that's a good question there. Oh, no, the one Rilla Rokor. Ugh.
Still though, he's still there. The army from Tudor's still AFK here, just out there.
He's only now found it again. It's like he lost track of it as he was trying to take a 4th base. He's lost his natural for the trouble. Iris coming though. He's gonna have tier 2. He's got loads of minerals. Once again, his spending kind of nipping him in the bud here, and that's a big problem for Tudor to overcome because if he actually had 1,600 minerals worth of units right now, it would be a totally different story.
Oh, these Mavericks though. I mean, they're born to die, I guess, but too bad for them.
Zets are going to clean up the Phalanx, finally. The Trojans leave empty-handed. No recovery mission whatsoever.
I hate these Trojans just leaving the Phalanxes to die.
Well, is Tudor still in the game somehow? He has no mining going on at his third base. His fourth isn't even started. Tier 2 is finished,
look
though.
at that army. I think he's done. I think Tudor just needs to come across and flex on him. The
I
Mutas
agree.
spy in the main, though.
Oh,
that's
maybe
going to make the difference.
Yes, suddenly. I mean, I don't know. Tudor won the game when he put it in his third. He's going to lose the game when he puts it in his main. I mean, do you need any other evidence than that?
Okay, really spread out army here. I mean, not the drops didn't do work, but I think Tudor needs to not have to drop. I think if he just got his army together on the ground, he'd be doing better right now. But who knows? He could still win with this half-empty mass drop. Well, here we go. Now it's not half-empty. Okay, all right. He put the Hurricanes in the Trojans. I changed my mind. I love it.
He's got a couple phalanx in there as well. Yeah, he needs to get going. Win this game before the Mutas come out. Is this a prescient move or what? He's making a Valkyrie. I love this, man.
It is the go-to. Look, I don't want to be mean, but I feel like it's the go-to for the noob Zergs who don't know what they're doing at tier 2. It's just to make a whole bunch of Mutas. Because it definitely can win. It's not like it's objectively bad.
Well, they just remembered that unit from Starcraft 1, right? And so they're like, yeah, for sure, this will work. True. Now, the third base gets discovered. A couple of Zoryus are all that remains in this position. The drops are waiting to unload somewhere. And, you know, it doesn't really feel right to drop and unload right here, but that's because it's land accessible, right? And so I guess he's going to ignore it.
Die, though. They're just watching their buddies die. Well, the Mutas are out. How many Mavericks are in here? Is there actually enough? Yeah, okay, that's enough.
I think so. Yeah, that's going to be a wrap there. Valkyrie's not even necessary. There was one. There was one stim, and that was it. And not on all the units either. He's going to go right after the eye roll. The psychic damage, the morale is going to be in the gutter here as Tudor loses his precious structure.
Well, there's a bunch of units popping here. The Hurricanes are not really in the right position. Then again, they are just killing the thing. He's going to clean it up, man.
Yeah, that's very funny. And remember, you didn't go after the Mutat Spire. You went after the tier 2. So he can still make Mutas.
Still, that means no Retrieval will come out, though. What's it going to make? Mutas and Protaphalors? I mean, Protaphalors are going to be decent here, but Phalanx will deal with them. Again, I wonder if Toyota just got everything together on the ground, how different this would look, you know? He probably could have just moved in there. But he did get a lot of the Mutalisks just because they were forced to defend the main, so that's a win. Yeah,
this is, I mean, welcome to the underclass and part of the Invitational, right? We've got some mistakes on both sides, and Tudor definitely has still plenty to play for here. I can't believe he's still in the game. I thought for sure Toyota was going to win, but he's making double ministry.
He's determined to spread his army as much as possible. Look at these Valkyries just going to random spots.
Yeah, he scouts the fourth base.
Outpost of Mavericks there, probably all talking shit about the commander, why he posts us up here. Yeah, and all these empty anchors, the classic Toyota move. Well, it's Hurricanes in that one.
Tier 2 on the way for our Terran player.
Yeah, well,
Tudor still making Mutas.
I like that he's trying hard to spend his money, though. It's good that he's just throwing down a bunch of stuff because he's like, oh crap, I got all this money. That's good. But I do wish he'd concentrate his forces more. It's Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's just scouting. It's just seeing what's up. What are you going to do in the face of such wanton destruction?
Oh my god. Who needs to walk when you've got Trojans?
No kidding. Maverick posted earlier, actually going to clear out some of the Toyota forces there, and that's going to be the go signal. Only a couple of Zethrakors are left here. There's a lot of circuits, but you can just drop right on top of this bad boy. Drop the siege, drop the stim. That's a wrap for this base once again.
Let's see Benno flashbacks. When he dropped that full Pythian versus both of them.
Yeah, he had two of them. Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, the phalanxes are actually left alone. Defend the phalanx.
And then again, he can just clean this. No, think about it. Needs to flip his Hatchros though, otherwise he won't get it. Oh, please get that Hatchros. No, he's not going to get it, is he?
That's it. No. That's a wrap. Mutas come out. Wait, Toyota's going to be in trouble here in a second. No, he didn't leave. Look, he's got 2 Trojans with stuff in them still.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank God he ends up flying it away. The Valkyrie will survive just for a moment.
Does he though?
No, apparently not.
These Trojans are not here to save lives today, I'm telling you. They are the least responsible Trojans I've ever seen.
More Watchdogs at the third base. Toyota's struggling so hard. He's got almost double the worker count of his opponent, and he's still not quite able to make anything happen. Fourth base under attack.
To defend at least. So he's looking to defend it. Oh my god, he's making so many Watchdogs. But the anchors are still empty.
Yeah, those are just there for moral support. Oh, don't worry, the Tensender has a flag on it, so you can make that if you want.
Oh no, that Valkyrie at the 3 o'clock, there's a spray being made underneath it?
Of course there is.
Okay, yeah, you can't attack into that.
Yeah, look at that.
Valkyrie is being repelled. Stop scouting there. And yeah, if reset makes that natural.
3 mantles coming up, 4 mantles coming up in the main, not in the third. So that's it.
We have learned.
Iral Iris being rebuilt behind the mineral line now, even safer.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're uninitiated in Cosmonarchy and you see this many watchdogs that are missile turrets, but they're calling them watchdogs for some reason, you're probably like, damn, Toyota somehow managed to build all of those real fast. That's impressive. Where's this mechanical skill elsewhere? Don't worry, guys. You can actually build over your own units. It doesn't stop you from building. It's not
Look at this.
not 1998 anymore. Yeah.
This is like, you know, watching the cards about to collide. Oh,
Yeah.
the Masons. Oh, that's a good portion of his workers too. Oh,
Yeah, it's 18 of them.
he's going to run away, but how many of them will make it? Oh, Valkyries? No. Trojans. Who needs Valkyries? Just drop on the air units. Are you going to unload those, buddy?
No.
Are you going to unload those?
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
No.
Oh, no. He can still get cleaned up. There's not enough maps there. He does fly away.
More
But
watchdogs in the
like,
natural.
honestly, he could have cleaned that up and maybe even won
Oh,
the game.
another
Yeah.
full Trojan dies. The Phalanx
So
is left on their own.
Yeah, again, these Trojans are not here to save lives, man. They're letting their comrades die on the ground.
I can't believe
intentionally.
that's been happening in this game, dude. I thought for sure it was over, but it's still going. Now, once the cataphracts come out, really,
True.
I don't think there's anything the Tudor can do. But he has tier 2 again, so he could go for the Matravel. Oh my god, look at all those Natricors. 3 o'clock. Gets one unload. The other Trojans were empty.
Yeah. It's a good count of the Trojans because they just get on top of them. They can't get away. Now, a lot more Mutalisks got made, by the way, and the Mutalisks are running into the Watchdogs a little bit. Okay, only loses a few, actually. Get in the anchor. Yeah.
Finally, staff them up.
Those Hurricanes have been lonely. They've finally got a friend. I like that he's got this one Hurricane out here. I don't like that he's got this one Phalanx out here.
It was
wow,
running away from Mutas, and now it's getting killed by other air units. You know how it is.
Those Napricors really do absolutely nothing, don't they? If
Yep.
he can get the Calculate out, more focus on his Calculus, 'cause he's got a devastating air force here.
Oh, another drop in the natural, but there's already units here to clean up. Dude, is Tudor gonna win this game? Like,
Yeah,
how
if
is
he
this
does.
happening? He looks ahead now, isn't he? I know he doesn't have as much of an economy, but he's got so much money in the bank, it almost doesn't matter.
I mean, his army's very fragile, though. You know, if he gets the wrong engagement, all those Mutalisks will just disappear.
True,
Get in
yeah,
anchors,
remember, the
get in
cataphracts are
anchors,
still
no.
on the way. No, the anchors were full of Hurricanes.
Okay, well, he's going to do some damage here, right? Oh my god, can he break through? No
Units
way,
are pretty
right?
good. He's got 36 of them stacked up there.
Where are the cataphracts? They're lumbering out. They're so slow. Are they going to get here in time? I can't
That's what you
believe
need
that
the
Valkyries
Trojans
would have been a
for.
good unit.
He's trying
No,
on.
the full Trojans!
Full Trojans do not belong in front of the Mutas.
Oh my god.
Gotta
What a
sing out.
massacre.
What a disaster. Now Toyota's worker count dropping
Ooh, you don't
precipitously.
want to engage that. Okay.
Cataphracts standing
Was
tall.
it worth it though? He's neutralized a lot of the Zerg strength for that.
Now I don't think Tudor has the ability to fight back. He's going for the Ultrav, but it's very late. Takes a little bit of time to get up and running. If he had Ultra Cores, that's a great unit to use versus the Katas, especially if you can somehow pair that with Vilgs. But that's not what we see happening over here. Valkyrie is going to get eaten by the Naths. Very lovely.
Well, look, as bad as this looks for Tudor, I feel like Tudor's just going to continue to drop all his units away and not centralize. That said, I guess he's bringing some of these Cyprians up. But look, he's still lifting stuff from his main, and who knows where he's going to send it. But I have to say, I have no faith they're going to go on like a well-planned mission.
Yeah,
Like,
so far
if I was
the
in Toyota's army, I'd be
Yeah.
like, God, I hope he doesn't order me into a Trojan, because I know I'm not getting out.
autopilot seems to be malfunctioning here. I don't know what's happening. Cyprians and Katas are walking on back. They are going to be having to deal with
Oh my God,
very
the
heavy
main.
amounts of mutas. And look at this. He's going to make a star pad farm for Valkyries, but they're going to get interrupted. That's going to be 31 mutas in the main base.
He's going to be a base race. Oh, there's 3 cataphracts here, though, so actually he's okay. Luckily, Toyota is good at, like, sort of deputizing these forces for defending the main so far. That using the star pads is not critical. And he's continuing the attack because he was able to fend that off with what he had. So, good moves here. Might be able to get him back in this. And he's dropping. The drop's succeeding. I can't believe it, even though his army was like 2 meters away.
Yeah. Who needs the drops?
Oh my god. Well, this is what I meant by Tudor having a fragile army, right?
Yes.
Despite how much more money
Cyprian
he put into his
Cataphracts,
army.
good luck, man.
Yeah. The Ultrav, though, the Ultra Cores would have been the perfect unit against the Cataphract, but there's not enough time to get enough of them, I don't think. He's going to just smash on through at last.
Only now is he queuing up a couple of them, and 4 is not enough. No Vilgs to support either.
What happened to the Cataphracts in the main?
Yeah, he's unloading them.
Oh, no, in his own main. They all run across the map to join the attack, so now the Mutalisks are coming in and crushing him.
Well, they kind of are. There is still, I mean, they only just now started with Cataphract production. This is actually potentially kind of deadly, but the units
not
are
going to handle it.
The mutas are just kind of hanging out here, not actually attacking in a focused way, so they're stuck attacking structures while the Mavericks attack them.
Let's go Ultra Cores. What can they do?
Although
Cyprians won't
that
do
force
much
is
to it.
hatching off to the side. If Tudor can try to sync up with his force, he might be able to do something.
They're not strong enough to deal with the cataphracts quite. You know, you can see if he had like 10 of them, it would be very good here, but those couple are just going to get absolutely decimated. The Ultra's about to fall. And yeah, the middle is trying to break down the natural. There's probably enough Watchdogs here to defend them off. And there you go, the Durandals. Are they heroes? Really built for anti-air, but they can do it.
Listen, anything in a pinch, any port in a storm, and Toyota about to set sail. GG, Tudor is going to be dropped. I can't believe it took that long, but Tudor is going to have to think about his failings and come back stronger.
No, man, Toyota's going to have to think about his failings, man. That was rough. But hey, you got the W in the end. That's all that matters.
Well, you know, we've said this before, right? But like, if you win a really long, drawn-out game, especially a game that you feel like maybe you should have won a lot of times sooner, that can maybe drain your stamina a little bit, and then you got to play right after that. We saw this very dynamic happen. I guess I saw it. I don't know if you've caught it up yet, but you casted the tail end of the upper card Group C. What ended up happening in that group with the Shambler, Arbuz, and Swarmlord, Steven, there was a really long, drawn-out game where Shambler beat Swarmlord and then immediately collapsed versus Arbuz immediately following in the next game, and then had to take a break and like reset. So that could happen to Toyota here. We could be in for a very fast next match.
Yeah.
Let's find out what happens. It's Game 5 coming up. We are into Game 5 here on Dyadic Shore. Fenris has selected this map and is going for his fast gas, the Jet Black Zerg in the top left. And down here in the bottom left, we got Toyota, the Glacial Terran. I don't know, man. Fenris has definitely struggled a little bit in that matchup against Tudor. His match against Toyota was potentially offset by that mech play that maybe he's not as familiar with. Will Toyota go bio again? Because that worked out pretty well for him in the very early stages of the game. If we can just kind of Men in Black memory wipe the rest of that match, then we'll just say Toyota won confidently, right?
Sometimes I wish that was an option. Okay, he does get the Fulcrum, but again, he's mining the gas. Sorry, the Fulcrum, the Stockade. Literally the opposite.
No worries.
He's doing the same thing where he's mining the gas. Now, I do feel like he did not utilize the Phalanxes that well last game. I do wonder if he just spent his money on, say, like more Stockades. Would it have just looked better overall? Because he came to siege the circus, but he wasn't aggressive enough about it. He did not move in quickly enough with all his stuff, so it gave Zergler a breathing room. Look, it turned into like a really long game because of that. So I'm not really feeling good about the Fulcrum play here for Turda. I think if he just makes a bunch of Stockades and just A-moves the man with Maverick Huracan, it could work. Now, is Fenris going to be going Hydriff? Of course, we saw a different thing out of Tudor, but I feel like Fenris is pretty much committed to just the Hydriff only.
He did that Zork on near impact, and that's one of the reasons why he almost died. Is he really going to try it again versus Terran? It looks like it'll be Hydriff.
Shown the way. Yeah, for sure.
There it is.
The thing is, Aziracores can sort of decimate Mavericks in this right sort of early game scaling, but they also can get gunned down really fast. I guess just how Mavericks work. And the problem also is how long all this stuff takes to build. I don't know how much you're going to have out. If, say, like 6 Mavericks run in, what will you have time to make?
We're going to have to wait and see, because right now, Fenris still harvesting Vespian after the Hydrith, which is pretty normal if you're not expanding. If you're going to go for another Larvosk behind it, or maybe just grab some Hydras behind it as soon as it pops, that makes a lot of sense. There is another Kagrant being made. It is a pretty prime position to go for Circuit at the ramp, but usually when you do this, you do it faster and with a second Larvosk before your Tech Node. The fact that he's doing it early, I'm not sure I like as much, but hey, it is going to be safe versus the bio, and he did see a rush out of Toyota last time. A little bit of a rush, if you can call it that.
Yeah, well, like I said, imagine 6 Mavericks are heading towards you right now. You're very glad to have this. And look, I'm just glad that it actually covers the ramp this time.
Yes.
So I'm not going to make any complaints.
There you go. You've received Neblime's limited approval. Conditional approval.
Conditional approval.
That's right.
He's coming out with this little force, and this is the kind of force I do think is good to attack with, but I think he needs that intel. That is not the time to attack now because of the circus here, but I guess you can always poke and see that.
Yeah, here's one thing for you, right? I mean, stim and put the Huracan first. I think you pop that Circuit real easy.
Okay, but the units are popping out behind it is the problem.
Yep. Yeah, it just, I think that there is play here for if this hits like 5 seconds earlier with some optimized builds. I think you can do a lot with that. Second Fulcrum on the way here. No add-on just yet, but there is room for it in the build order.
He's going for it. Oh, I don't know.
He kind of leads it not with the Huracan, though, right? And now he's actually going to go after that Circuit.
Yeah, no. This is not going to work out. The Hydra units will
doesn't even pop the Circuit. Oh, at least you could have made him spend 50 minerals for your trouble. Fenris holds flawlessly.
Now, he can't remorph it and regain the HP, so when he comes back later, he'll be injured. That's the plan.
Indeed, indeed. Well, the hatch is going to come down for Fenris. That'll be the first target if there is a comeback. Palladium on the way.
There's been times legitimately in PvC where I've deliberately not finished off circus so I can kill them all at once and he can't remorph them. It's a strat, I promise you.
Yeah, and does he dare pop it himself and remorph it, right? Like,
actually, that is what happened. You already realized.
Oh, okay.
Play against that. Yeah, literally what he did.
Was that versus Hamster or someone?
Cool. No, it's Jack.
Oh, okay. See, Jack's pretty wily. Doesn't always post the best results, but he's pretty wily. He did win his group. That we hopefully we can cast some of at some point, but
well,
turn his prize money into
he might have
bounty.
been the victor, but can you really call that winning? He said it was a bit painful. We'll see.
Yes, yeah. If we see any, then maybe it wasn't so painful. If we don't see any, it was very painful.
Right,
Ski back on the way here for Fenris.
Oh, we're looking at different things. I like that he's making the tellers. We don't see those very much. But that said, he has no expansion, so what's this guy going to go do? I guess he's going to go to the island, which is a long way away, but I guess over time it'll pay off. Now,
treasury.
The problem is...
On the third, we were just talking about this before we started recording, that we don't think that that's the right third for this map, actually, depending on what's up with the matchup.
I mean, it does depend what the sort of game situation is going to be. Look, if you're going to go Talos, I think the treasury is okay in general, but I would like to put it in like a sneaky spot, since you can just fly over there. Or just fly to the island where there's like, I guess you'd have to kill the Bionic Bastion, wouldn't you? I was going to say it's the perfect spot, but it would take a while to kill that.
Yeah, you're thinking that because you're Protoss and your artisans don't need no town centers.
Yeah, so. True. And the artisans can't even attack. Sorry, Talos can't even attack now.
Yep.
So I guess that would be kind of rough. You fly over, you build a stockade for Hurricanes, burn it down, then lift, build the treasury. Definitely worth it.
Can you even fit a stockade there? Maybe. At the very end on the left?
Because are the cracks buildable?
The cracks are not.
Oh. Well,
you can't even get larva from that spot if you put a hatch
fly somewhere random, build the stockade, build the anchor, lift the Hurricanes, drop them,
Okay.
Right, the text coming in. That's a lot of his Zerocores, though. If he's bold... Oh, no, he gets separated, actually. He's going to come in piecemeal. Going to allow Stim to go down. Takes one of those Zerocores. He's going for it.
Nice. This is really decisive from Toyota. Wow. Right before the backfill timing, too.
I don't think it's going to be enough. The backlist should be able to clean this up. He does lose all his Mavericks this way, and now he might lose the Phalanx as well, though. Unfortunately, the Circuit in a really good position was able to gun down. You can see all those Maverick corpses in a line, but at least he trades out, I guess.
Yeah, he brings down the Zerocore count a lot, makes it a bit more approachable in the next stage of the game. Now Fenris needs to invest in melee if he wants to actually compete in the open ground, but he's making 3 Skiths. I find Skiths to be very underwhelming an option in ZVT. I feel like 2 Watchdogs with some repairs, admittedly, if there's mass Skiths, you can obviously take them out. We've talked about this before, Neblime. The right number of Skiths is not 3. It's like 30.
It's 25. 25 to 30. I agree, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we saw work get done by like 7 in ZVZ. That's something different for sure.
I guess they're pretty good at hunting Talos if you know that the enemy is doing that.
Oh, true. That's a big deal, actually, if he does figure that out. I'm trying to think what you could use them for here. Maybe they're a better option to kill the Phalanx than the Nafracores would be, just because they're tankier and have a better ground attack. Well,
you'll also kind of dispatch some of the Mavericks in the process if you're trying to hit them, right, because of the spread damage. And you saw Fenris considering another static defense structure there, but instead he's just going to kind of slowly saturate up. And, that's sleeper strat, especially since he has the Talos. Toyota could actually siege behind the natural and start ranging him down that way. At which point, I think the Skiths would be mandatory. So maybe Fenris is just more prescient than any of us.
Well, one step ahead of his opponent because his opponent's not even doing the thing he's trying to counter. But I do like to get some of the defenses here. I'd love to see a Cestus as well, especially with those siege phalanxes.
Oh, yeah.
But the anchor alone is really good. He's put those Mavs in there. But is there time? He's coming out now. The unsieged phalanx could be a big deal in the front, though. I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, can Zerg really take this?
It's really funny. The aura of the anchor already stopping Fenris from engaging here. And he is going to be beaten back. That one-stemmed Maverick, giving the Skith Cloud a little bit of hell.
Oh, no, Hurricanes also.
Whatever. They're born to die too, apparently.
Well, I think he has enough battles here. I really think Zerg could break through, or more phalanxes show up. Toda really does need to reinforce this pretty aggressively. Because if this gets wiped, he's in a very tough position. But what forces does he have? Once again, the production kind of dropping off. Again, I guess praise him for spending his money, but you've got to question the choices at some point.
10 Watchdogs in production, yeah.
He's coming hot off the heels of that mass muta game just before.
Oh, he started a bunch of them and just paused their production in the third base.
It's the Talos, because they don't go in the same building mode. He didn't realize that he control-clicked and ordered them back to minerals, probably.
So here's a funny little thing. Why are there Kadar and Crystal formations in the top of the third for Fenris.
Yeah, it's shout out to how it used to be, right?
I guess so, yeah. Is the same thing on the other side? Because I haven't seen it.
No, well, I guess it hasn't been scouted yet. I know, it's just like a throwback to when there was that ramp that was blocked.
That's funny. So Qual's drop coming in with 2 Zets as well. This actually could definitely disrupt the natural, which is actually Toyota's third. He's going to try to step forward.
Uh-oh. But there's so many watchdogs in here. This could go bad. Oh, no! Okay,
he gets 2 Quas out. I mean, you can just fight this with workers, honestly, and Toyota knows that.
Yep.
Get him!
Wait.
Battle workers. The other one's bullying a guy in the corner.
There. I was like, where'd he go?
Bully him. Get him. Get him, Toyota. Mess him up. Yo, he's attacking your watchdog. You're just going to let that happen? You built 10 of them. There you go.
Oh, he finally turns the Masons, but no, not a single kill. Tragic for Fenris here. Really just a distraction, though, because it's really not much money compared to his main army. And he's getting that production still. And, you know, Tudor has not really reinforced this very much. No more anchors were made. He's got a bunch of phalanxes, but these Mavericks are going to drop so quickly is my concern. The Bactals will just delete them in, like, one volley. And then the rest of the army easily walks on top of these phalanx. Now, if all of them are in anchors, it's another matter entirely. Especially if ever Cestus to deal with those backlist bouncers. But it's a very fragile position as is. He has very little to reinforce him as well. And I feel like Fenris is going to pull the trigger before he's ready anyway. I'd love to see him go down the left. Oh no, this is not the move. Then again, if he just snipes the Khazitra...
I guess he will. Yeah, that's pretty expensive on the gas count, but he unsieged most of the phalanxes, and now making the choice to siege is probably a bit disastrous there. He should at least bleed a lot of the Zerg army here, but this is going to be a decisive wipe in favor of Fenris. Good even spreading out his Izira away from the rest of the army. Really nice movement there.
Yeah, those volleys do a lot of damage. Oh, look at this. Again, there's a little outpost of Toyotas, which is bound to get mopped up by Zerg. Even those 2 Mavericks on the right are, like, guaranteed to bait Zerg into it. Okay, no, he's going to pull back. Okay, thank God. They got orders to retreat this time. Desperately trying to make the anchors at home. Once again, pulling the classic Tudor Miguel move, I guess. The anchors, maybe there's the army to go in them this time, though. But yeah, maybe. The production has not been great. Well, then again, the money is spent, but the army is still small. So it's just a question of prioritization here, right? Have the Telos been as efficient as they should have been, I wonder?
Well, he's only now, looks like he's saturating up his third base with pure Talos, and a couple of Zets are getting intercepted as Fenris tries to scout around and see what's going on. He won't get eyes on the third base. Remember, the only scouting he did was with that Ovalette that got kind of parried pretty easily. Got 1 Mason kill for his troubles, and that was it. So, I don't know.
Coming up, by the way. We're going to see 2 Soracors.
Okay. Yeah, honestly,
though, they do the work.
I do think Vilgs are going to be just fine in this particular composition, but I think Teths are actually underrated as of right now. Obviously, they're very cheap, only 25 gas each one. You already have all these Izira waiting to be your experiments to see how good it actually is. 2 Covenants coming super late in the game for Toyota. I'm not a fan of this at all. He hasn't had any time to get a stack of Eidolons up, so he must go Savant here.
I'm glad he turned around. That would have been a disastrous attack right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's a good thing that he pulled back there. I mean, he has at least delayed Fenris's third a lot. Only now is it coming up. But yeah, it has to be Savants. You cannot go Eidolon at this point for my money.
Oh, that one Zephyr, nothing to attack it. There's Watchdogs turning him down. Okay, he's going to send a little force.
No, he's going to fall back. He's like, yeah, whatever, you can kill it. I don't need it.
A treasury better not die.
No, he's going to finally do it.
Now, here it goes.
Control group issue, most likely. There's 1 borrowed Zeth here at the 6 o'clock position.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, he's got the good vision out, actually. I love it from Fenris. She needs to saturate that third, though. That's his issue. Look, I don't mind the Savants. If you get a whole bunch of them on this high ground here, it can be an unassailable position once you just get enough splash damage, right? So I'm not against it. Would love to see Shamans with it, though, because they will get bounced by Bactals if they're not careful.
Yeah, or stuff them in an anchor or something, right? Get that +3 range heading down the ramp.
But now they can't go rapid fire in the anchor anymore.
No, but I think the game is probably healthy.
Oh, those were hilarious times. Well,
just remember 4 Cyprians and an anchor, dude. You want me to go back?
Oh my gosh! Well, don't tell me you changed the Savant when you saw me lose like my entire Protoss ground.
Oh, the Ministry under attack!
Oh, was that a cancel?
Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, it creates big rubble when it dies for reals.
Okay, all right. Well, still bit of minerals going down, but hey, it's not minerals Toyota needs right now.
That's right.
I think he's fine with it.
Yeah, honestly, both players kind of lackluster on the cap so far in this series, but Fenris has done really, really well in his main and natural. Just needs to cap that ridge in the third base. This Ovalith has nothing in it, but we'll reveal nothing in the anchors.
All right, no Vestry still. I mean, with all these Shamans, what am I saying? All these Mavericks as well. Shamans would be pretty good for restoring those stims, right? Now, Fenris content to build up with what little economy he has here, not really trying to expand out ahead of the Terran, and it may well pay off. Unless Toyota has like a really nicely wedged in defensive position here, it's going to be very tough to defend against all this stuff. It is a very large melee force, so if it's low surface area, it's going to be to the Terran's favor, and this ramp going to be quite favorable against the backlist, but there is a lot of offensive potential here.
Oh, look at that. Another Zeth getting some action here as it gets forcibly unburrowed by the Ministry at 6. Surely he doesn't cancel it this time. It's only one Zeth. You could have even saved it versus the others. He's like, I have Talos. Toyota, they don't attack.
He can repair his building once it's done, but it's not done. All right, there's a couple maps coming down. Not even stimming. They know they got time.
Yep. It's like when you get you're married. Your wife asks you to kill the spider. You're like, all right, I guess I'll come downstairs for that.
Spider's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's in your house. Yeah. This is Toyota's territory.
So it looks like 12 o'clock being taken by Fenris, so trying to match the economic tempo of his opponent here a little bit. But he's actually going to be behind a base. If Toyota can actually saturate and leverage that position, the double gas base here, Toyota actually finding out that is the case. Man, if only he was tier 2 right now, he could start building sentinels and, cheekily attacking the Spraiths and all that. So,
But he's got so many covenants. He's got a...
Oh, thanks, Tudor.
Nice.
Well, the LMAX are going to indeed start slapping the Talos.
Ooh, yeah, this is really rough because they're not bad against Watchdogs either. Oh, and indeed, Mavericks. They're going to do some damage if you're not careful. Okay, he's going to come in here.
More Watchdogs. More Watchdogs. He made 10 of them, but only one of them was at the natural. Well, now Fenris is flying into the actual area where there is a bunch of anti-airs, so I don't know about that one.
Okay, that could have been quite painful for Toyota, but luckily for Toyota, he flew right into where all the defenses were. And he's kind of
he's going to do it again.
No. Oh, they're everywhere. There's nowhere safe. Oh my gosh.
More watchdogs than shop dogs.
Ooh,
at least one guy will be attacking. By the way, some of those Taluses are not mining. So there's actually a buff to Toyota's economy once he resets it, just so you know.
Well, it's annoying. He's in this one spot. The Savant's just ignoring. They got better things to do.
Yep.
So many minerals. I'd love to see him just like start spamming the Hurricanes just to get tier 2 real quick. Because, 20 Hurricanes are never going to be useless in a fight.
Talus flies over to see Natural's not really having any tech in it. That's weird.
I like that scout. You might as well. You got plenty of Talus. Is he going to deal with this Almac or?
Nah. It's got 2 kills already. It's got a third.
It's going to be 3. Yeah. It's going to be 4. Oh.
No.
This. There you go. The Savants show up.
They pen the Almacs, which are pretty good. Tier 3 for Fenris.
When did Tony Miguel's army leave his base, though? Who stopped supervising them? They can't be out here. It's dangerous, man. Do you see
he's gonna kill that 12 o'clock. That's what he's gonna do.
Oh, man. If he deploys everything, maybe there's a world where he can hold this, but he needs the perfect engagement. And honestly, the Phalanx is all in the wrong place. Oh, man, he's in so much danger right now, especially how strung out he is. The Phalanx is sieging might actually be the nail in the coffin.
Oh, he just kills most of his own Mavericks there in that area. Anseal's fallen back. They will be able to shield some things, but not if they're not actually handled here. Where's the deployment of the Savants? We need to see a couple of those taken care of. Oh, there we go. He's going to go for it now, but I think it's a little bit too late. Most of the army is up here at 12 o'clock still, and the Vilgorikor is going to neutralize so much of the DPS. Yeah, that's going to be a wrap here.
He fulfilled his mission. Just at what cost?
He did. He just didn't really bleed the Zerg army enough, it feels like.
Oh, yeah. He's open to a big counterattack now.
Look at it. It's got so many Zets coming out as well. Over 100 military units. Restaking 12 o'clock.
Yeah, he can just rebuild it. Really, it's not that much of a loss for Zerg. He has this many minerals. He can just kind of remake all that. And yeah, he's in real trouble of a counterattack now. Look at his army, quote-unquote army. This squad he's always got. There's so much money in the bank right now as well. And still just making those Savants. Not ramping up production, not getting tier 2 or anything. It's tier 3 on the way for Zerg. Zerg just has the swarm over here. Yeah,
he's not actually attacking with it, which is a bit of a shame. Tier 2 in the 4th base, Neblime.
Stop. Why? There's so much space in the main, and it's so well defended with Watchdogs. This is the least defended place in the territory.
He can't even build Watchdogs all around it because of the way he placed it. So isn't that just brilliant?
Gosh. Well, whatever. If it finishes, it finishes, and that's what he needs. But how's he going to hold in the meantime? If only he had tier 2 now, he could be throwing down the Sentinels, which again I think are really an asset in TBZ. Again, if he just keeps spamming Hurricanes at least, it'll help a bit against this very melee-oriented attack. Look at this. The only range is the backdoors, and there's not that many of them. If he has a way to deal with the front line, he'd be looking good. Durandals can come out, maybe?
Othsalava for him. Done. Now we're getting those Oxel Seasians. Get straight to those advanced mutations.
Always
There we
gonna
go.
get the triple chazzle.
Oh, I love the Chokril Chazzle here. And he's got the Axis coming, so that's pretty good too.
That's the best one. We know that.
Yeah.
That's the #1 building. But hey, you get those Criminalisks. We're pretty good against Tier 1 Terran.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine what's going to happen here. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are here for the show. We have, for you today, Tier 3 Zerg versus Tier 1 Terran. His Atlas is almost
a couple
done.
cataphracts out in time. Let's see. As long as he doesn't build his freaking mantles out of that third base. Don't do it. Don't
He's going to do it.
Where's his camera? Where's his camera?
Oh, he's going to put it... No, it's not even the third base. Neblime. It's somewhere better.
Where's he going? Don't put it out there.
Yes.
Where's he going? There's so much space in the main.
It's happening.
Oh, no.
I will place my structures in such a way that they will block my general movement and also be very snipeable. I will. For Neblime.
For Neblime's suffering, huh?
Algostalisk's on the way. That's Factor King's favorite unit.
Yeah, they're not a good unit, but it sure is an interesting unit. It'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't know about Citrus.
Listen, if he throws the Algos right at the Atlas at max range, they just pen it.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
If you just have your opponent build your tier 2 out in the middle of nowhere, you can kill them with Algos. I'm just saying. 7, yes, get me more Algos.
How much armor pen? I need an answer.
Oh, well, they have 0 by default, but they gain 1 armor pen for every range traveled, and they have 6 range, so they will do 100% damage from max range at the Atlas. So,
yeah, they do look pretty spicy though. I do like to see them in action. I just feel like, if you want to win, you just make other units and sort of aim moves.
Yeah,
hey,
they are pretty squishy actually for a tier 3 unit. It might be something I look to later on. All right, it's triple guild hall. Toyota going to try to survive with Cataphract. I'm guessing Autocrat actually. Cataphract Autocrat, not a terrible comp. And try to turn a lot of the army that he's going to kill.
He's behind in tech, so just take the Zerg's tech. No problem.
The problem here is that I think Toyota's army is going to die faster than he kills the enemy army, because the Zerg has decided to go for something that's a lot more on the durable side. And even then, the units that are expendable are like en masse, like Zeths, that are not really going to help, that are just going to consume some of the corpses. Some more Tothakors out here as well for Fenris. More Oxels. No Eccentralisks just yet.
Timing. Look at Tudor. He's moving out just as his tier 2 is starting to come online before he actually has any tier 2 units in his army.
Yeah.
So he's going to throw away the whole tier 1 army, and then the tier 2 units will be naked and get eliminated.
That's your prediction? I mean, he's scouting out here in the top right. He's got to drop 7 Hurricanes, 1 Maverick, the proper distribution.
The opposite might have been stronger, but hey, this will do some damage. The Mortofrico is fleeing. They can't deal with Hurricanes. They're not strong enough.
Well, the Zets are going to try to restore. He's taking his entire army just about. And now he sees, oh, wait, you're attacking me over here? Okay, I'll come here.
I mean, well, if he gets in good position here, dude, if he sieges up, this is still formidable, but the Algostalists are going to be doing something. Tactical's here for them. Shoots off some missiles. Okay, here we go. He comes to siege. That's a lot of balances.
Oh, boy. Here we go. He's also going to come in from the east side, but I think that one will be wiped relatively easily. It's the west that has to be the worry. Mutat Spire on the way as well for Fenris in the background. Sure, he can update with Sovereigns if he even needs to. He's crushing through the first round of Phalanxes, and there is nothing coming here for Toyota. He's going to try to shut down that top right base, and he will be successful, but his army is gone. Every Algoz surviving. It's glorious.
Dang. I was thinking to myself, like, wow, he's doing so well. He has such like a narrow engagement here, but this Zerg army is just too strong. It doesn't even respect the surface area. It just chews through everything. Montop, of course, getting in with the Algoz, just absolutely slaughtering.
The Autocrats revived a few of them, but yeah, that's a wrap, homies.
They're doing their best, but their best just ain't good enough.
No, not even
look
close.
At all this T2 production.
Look, one of his cadres is stuck. I can't move.
Where is it?
And then by the mantles.
Oh, how did he even... Oh, I see.
Because of the rally, yeah.
No, he's defended from all those melee units now.
That's right, yeah. Now he can die to the Algoz instead.
Oh god, there's so many of them. Oh no. Oh wait, the Magicals? Okay, it's only 2 Magicals, fine. He has to flee, the Cataphract's too powerful.
It is, it's too isolated. Oh, now he's going to go for it.
Okay,
goodbye. Oh, the Sasirvaleth here as well for lifesteal. Dude, this is impossible.
Dude, that's insane.
Here we go. The Atlas is going to suicide bomb into the other area. That's his only shot.
Dude, you should give the tech structures the controlled demolition, but make it like mega for them.
Yeah.
Like a nuke.
It sets off a Morningstar explosion.
Can he steal one more Torficore? Yes, he can.
Yep. He did one earlier as well. It just died immediately as well.
Oh, okay. Well, it's got to die immediately. Here it goes. Well. Oh, how'd that one get in the middle of his army? Alright, here we go. Poor Mavericks, man. Imagine you're a Maverick out on the field, like, oh boy, I wonder what I'm fighting today. Well, I see some Zeths, or, you know, a couple of, like, simulacrums.
No?
And this shows up.
Yeah. How about tier 3, buddy? Well, I think that's pretty much a wrap here. I can't see any way for Toyota to come back. He's making 5 Valks. He's going to use the Valkyries. They're not in melee range. They die. At that point, I think the Cicervolets would have helped lifesteal everything anyway, so unfortunate. That means that, by the way, Fenris is only going to be 1 match away from winning the group. He needs to defeat Tudor.
Watch Dogs took out a Cicervolet, by the way. Oh, there's no Watch Dogs at this base, though.
Hey, safe.
Looks like that's Cicervolet's trying to infest like a Broodwall Queen.
That's pretty funny. Well, you know, over here on the third base at like 11 o'clock or whatever, underneath the Kadaran formations, a drop, I'm not sure if the Trojan had anything in it, got pretty heavily devastated there. And actually, he's back to his dropping ways.
Okay, he can still do it, man. He can still get across. Oh, the Citralists have been made, though.
I love that he landed his tier 2 so that he can actually use it for stuff, but he's not building anything with it, you know?
Oh no, he's running
right into the not the Cherbrathalors, no! Devastation.
They didn't even shoot, did they?
Yeah, one of them did, but it was already dead.
No, there was no damage. It was the Citralists that did it.
Oh, yeah.
But I love that all the corpses just drop all over the Zerg army.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He's still not up, though. He ain't done.
You need to bomb like anti-cathons so that your enemy just steals all your drop at that point.
Yeah. Dude, he ain't done. He ain't leaving until this drop goes down for sure. The Valkyries trying to do what they can.
Well, he does actually force the split. I think that was mostly a user error there. And look, he can deny the space at least. He's going for the natural.
He can get his revenge.
Oh, one of them died with so many units in it. Unload, Toyota, unload!
That's just rude. That's just rude at this point.
That is rude.
He just wants his revenge. He wants to kill all the innocent troll lefts before he leaves, and he's doing it. I hope he runs in the main, kills all those as well. Just so, you know, the Zerg Swarm comes home and they're like, oh, I can't wait to get her.
The Zerg Swarm is
the home. The good news.
Excitralisks, Sovroleths hatching.
Oh man, Sovroleths GG as well. GG. Fenris is still here. He still kills
He's enjoying. He's like, damn,
okay.
I won in tier 3. Well, that was an interesting game of Cosmonarchy. And now we only need Fenris to take to the top and smash Tudor one time, or Tudor can have us extend play even further. Of course, then it'll still be Toyota v Tudor, where Toyota's up 1-0 over their internal best of 3, if you will call it that. So we got, I think, 2 games minimum. But if Fenris wins and then Toyota wins, that's a wrap, and Toyota's second place, Fenris first. So that's basically what we're looking at for scenarios now. What an interesting set of games.
Yeah, we get to see some units we don't normally see. Look, man, this Terran tier 2 is definitely coming in and hitting hard. It's just always in a situation where Terran's already so screwed.
It does feel that way. Let's get into game 6. Yeah, I think. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're going. And here we are in what Neblime thinks is the worst... No, I'm just kidding. It's the best map. It's Fenris in the top right as the Jet Black Zerg. And Tudor selects Genesis Y to challenge him. He is the Snow Zerg. There you go. Haha, Zerg again? Yes, haha. Well, Tudor giving up the game. Or is it mind games? You never know. Fenris could be being like, okay, my opponent is actually not Zerg. And then he could die.
Well, I really hope he switches to Zerg full-time after this. Okay, here's what the build order is. You make 1 draw left and you make a pool. That's the build order.
Yep, that's it.
Simple.
Yeah, you just win by that. They scout your pool and they GG.
You got a couple. Hey, he played some fine Zerg games before. You can't say he doesn't know what he's doing. Tudor has to be like full-time Zerg player now. Like,
clearly the game has decided for him. He goes random. Yeah. He rolls Zerg, what, 4 or 5? Yeah, 4 games in a row, I think.
Yeah. Oh, interesting deviation though. He's going for like the Hydra, then the Lavos. Fenris doing the opposite. I assume he's going to go. Then again, Fenris getting a lot of minerals. Thinking about a pool, I'm guessing.
Yeah, what's he going to do here? He has no Vespian, so he needs the pool.
All right, so the shoe's on the other foot now because it was Fenris with these heavy Hydra plays. No, you just make a bunch of Iziricors. What's going to stop you?
Well, here's an interesting angle. Is maybe Tudor is angling for like a 2 Hydra rush, which sounds like a meme. But it actually, I think it does have legs in ZVZ when you're able to use the mobility of the Hydra. The Iziricor can also just be rallied behind it after the fact, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, his Hydra's Den is about to finish, and he doesn't really have that much larva, so I don't know if it definitely is playing out like he forgot the build order.
Yeah, well, I feel like as long as you sort of spend all your money on lava, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. There's some strength or weakness to it. The only question is, does it match up to what your opponent's doing? Now, I do think versus Quaspool, getting a couple of Izzy's first is always worth it.
Yep. And it's going to be Hydras instead, so let's see. Drolith on the way. Pool has been sighted. Fenris now knows his opponent is not a dirty liar. And where's the Kagran going to be? Right next to the mineral line. I'm not sure I buy that. I did appreciate that he used the Kagra spread against his opponent earlier by putting it all the way at the extremists of the base, right? But yeah, as of right now, Tudor's... He's gonna
I guess he's waiting for his units. Is this going to be stopped, though?
Yeah, the Quas will be enough to kill it.
Okay, yeah. I guess I shouldn't doubt. Like, Quas aren't that bad against buildings. They're just bad. They're not that bad.
Yeah, he's going to kill the worker as well. Oh, he actually pulls away. Well, the other Quas will finish the job.
Nah, he's going to die. And hey, you got him. It was a good trade. 0 minerals for 50 and more because he made the Kagran.
Yep. For 100. And I guess he canceled the circuit, but I think you get full money back for that. All right. It's a Mass Hydra from Tudor. That's his answer to this, if you can call 4 Mass. Zork is very early on for Fenris. His Worker Scout did get killed by Hydras. I assume he panned down to clock that, so he knows what killed his units, but we'll have to wait and see. Now he's starting to get into some Izira cores. I think if you're going to go for an early damage or you're worried about an early attack, the Izzy first makes a lot of sense. But as of right now, Tudor going for the ski back after 2 Izira cores after 4 Hydras. I actually think this is a really, really strong attack timing because the Izira cores, you can just send them up with your first 4 Hydras and you can start picking down the, Quas or whatever, trying to use that range advantage, whatever. And then the Izira cores come in to really wreck them afterwards. So I think that this is really good timing. And then, of course, you have the Bactyls to fall back on, but Tudor's not being aggressive.
I really don't like going ski back with only 2 lava structures. I think that's just a mistake.
I can agree with that for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think Fenris just has a decisive advantage here, even though you look at this right now and it's like, well, they have the same amount of workers and theoretically Tudor has the strongest tech. He's just going to scale so much harder here. And it's a lot easier to spam out a lot of Quas units. A couple of his lists will just deny any Hydra progression. I mean, again, I don't want to deflate the cast. We've been doing that all day, I feel like, but I feel like Fenris is just in a winning position, even though it doesn't look like it yet. This attack is not going to be able to break through. There's enough Quas here, I feel like.
Yeah, the Zet's reinforcements are also pretty significant as well. If these were already Bactyls, that would be a different story, but he has no detection and he has no real way to fall back.
Can't you just sort of move close enough with Zerg? Oh, he finds it.
Not with the Izzies. I think with the Izzies out there, you're going to be able to hold the Zets off pretty fondly.
There's only 2, though.
You'd be surprised. You kite backwards, it's still going to be pretty good.
All right, but the Lakislas are out now, so he definitely can't get in.
Yeah, no detection
he does get his own expansion.
for Tudor.
Does get his own expansion, though, yes. So he will be staying on par here, hopefully. He can get those Lavos, get those workers up. I guess the game can go on, and he does have the advantage of already being in the Hydras, so he's building like a sort of better army.
He's going to need to fall back as soon as this is scouted. He's actually trying to stand still here, which is not the play at all. You do not try to hold this attack. Now with only 1.5 HP, Izira Core, yeah, you're done, dude. You're toast.
Yeah, and these Bactyls actually just a hindrance because they're too slow to get away.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Some Zets even flank from the south as well. Man, what a total wipe of the army. Fenris doesn't know it right now, but he could attack, move across, and win the game in record time in the group.
Yeah, he could well. Well, yeah, will that be the fastest game we've had yet? I'm trying to think what the quickest one was. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I think quickest was like 15 minutes. So yeah, this might end much faster than that. I mean, he's going to start stringing across the map.
Triple love overleft made. I assume it was an accident because I don't think he's ready to drop right now. And that might be what cost him. Oh, wait, he does have to detect for the Kisslers, actually. So you know what? Maybe.
Yeah, only 1 is fine. At that point, you also still need the combat units, and so not really ideal here.
So they don't get sniped or something, But 3, I don't know. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I think you're right. Oh, he's lifting. No, man, he's pulling a Toyota right now. Even if I'm dying, I can still drop. But he's getting absolutely A-moved. That
is very unfortunate. The Bactyls drop is like killed by workers anyway, so I really don't rate that one. This is looking like a wrap. Yeah, I think Tudor's just been had the ability to maybe do something in the early stages of the game with the build order, but as rough as his scoreline is, going out 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, whatever his scoreline's going to be, it's looking like it's a bit rough here. I still think that Fenris, he's going to win the group, but this was a competitive one,
Yeah. I mean, look, he looked really strong in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But then his opponents were able to exploit some weaknesses, GG, but it was definitely a solid showing, I think. And look, I would say based off these games, if you saw Fenris against these players again, you would expect him to win again. It wasn't a close thing.
Sure, yep. There was definitely the case where Fenris had some moves. I just feel like there was definitely play. There was play there for for all of the other players in the group. Toyota did have advantages in some of those matches. And it looks like right now we're going to go to that 7th game to decide second place as Fenris gets that prize money. Congrats, homie. And we will be back with the final game right now. Neblime, we are in Blackwater Bastion. And I did say this is our final game, but it actually could only be our final game. We could have one more after this. I was already writing off Tudor a little bit too fast there. He is our Japanese Violet Zerg in the top right, still Zerg. And Tudor is going up against Toyota, who apparently picked this map. This one I don't mind as much for Terran, compared to like Paradise and Near Impact. I feel like are a little bit harder. But hey, let's find out, because Toyota is our orange Terran in the top left. Horizontal spawns. This favored Toyota on Paradise. Will it favor him in this matchup?
No, I keep seeing these Zergs go 3 on gas when I've just been going 2. Does that make sense? Is that the best way to do it?
That's what a lot of Zergs have started to do. But, you know,
well,
I've also seen it's actually a Hydra first, which is really interesting.
that makes sense for 3 on gas, I'll say that.
Yeah. Here's another thing, right? We talked earlier about how, like, you know, it's situational whether you want a 3rd worker on the gas node versus, like, on one individual gas node versus 2. And I talked about how, like, 2-worker propaganda is spread through. It could entirely be possible, and it was for a very long time, even on the higher level of gameplay, that people are just doing something that is not actually the proper, like, the most efficient way, right? Like, Crankendown discovered Larvosk instead of Hatch, you know? Back in Ascension, or Acropolis 1.
Well, he also, I believe, maybe it was someone else, but I thought it was him also, just told me, like, that you should probably put a 3rd one on gases, so, you know?
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I don't know, I had to be told. That's all I know for sure.
Yeah.
You know, because I was putting 2 thinking, like, oh, I'm going to be efficient, but then someone was like, well, really, though? I think Zerg, at least in the asymmetrical matchups, definitely needs it. The other races, well, it really depends.
Yeah, okay. You get more value out of just capping the ridge, I think, at that point, for the other races.
As for the possible outcome of this match, by the way, I mean, I think there's every reason to hope for Tudor. Not to knock Toyota, but he's definitely been having some struggles the past couple games.
Yeah, sure.
If a Trojan is built, I'm calling it. If a Trojan is made, Toyota's going to lose.
Okay.
That's what's happening here. If he manages to avoid his temptations, he may well win.
I was really waiting for him to drop a star pad immediately, but it looks like he'll wait for another Fulcrum instead.
It can make a star pad, that's fine, as long as he doesn't make Trojans from it.
I think it'll be a Trojan first if he makes a star pad. That's my prediction.
It probably
He's going to
will,
go for a Vulture.
Unfortunately for him.
Yeah. Okay, there it is, a second Fulcrum. Not a very synced up build as far as like keeping his production structures humming the whole time, but his first Vulture is going to careen across the map. Looks like he has spotted where his opponent is. Tudor. Scouted bottom right first. Is now returning home, it looks like, or maybe cross-scouting.
Well, at least he won't send his quads down there this time. Alright, Vulture going to run in. Oh, he's going to get past. Oh, but that's Circuf. He's going to run into it. I can't believe it. Oh,
that really shouldn't have worked, but it did. Tudor is
man. This is the strat in this group. This is like the 3rd time we've seen this.
Yes, I think so.
Just put the Circuf in some random spot. Your opponent will run into it. The Vulture going to come and try its luck a 2nd time. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, now that you know where it is, he's going to go ahead and drop his mines defensively. But hey, the Droleth will clear this first one there.
Uh-oh. Let's play, like, Jaws theme, the star pads building.
Oh boy. Let's go. Drop time. It is possible, you know, maybe it's going to be Trojan Miguel instead of Toyota Miguel, but, like, at this point, we need to see, can he do it well? Can he pull it off? Because actually, like, taking away the nameplates for a second, this game is rife for a drop to do a lot of damage. I mean, Tudor's been very greedy. He expanded off of 1 Hydra. Like, that's as greedy as you can realistically be.
Well, if Toyota was across the map right now, he'd be killing that Hatcherosk, no doubt. In fact, he'd probably be running and killing all the workers.
Yeah.
But he's been quite timid here, unfortunately. And I guess the Vultures sort of lend themselves to that, because, you know, you got all these mines you want to defend. But really, he's letting Tudor have the best of both worlds, making no workers and being able to defend, while Toyota's spending all his money on military and not getting an expansion.
Well, the Trojan is coming.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, okay, maybe this is the game where the drops are just the key, right? Like you say, But it's already sort of missed its window. If it went one stockade into Starpad, then it'd be devastating.
Yep,
but as is, I feel like by the time this Trojan comes out, and especially since Toyota's been quite kind of slow to load up and send them, he's not doing those things like laser focused. I feel like there's just going to be tons of defenses by the time he gets here. See,
it's a vulture drop, which we don't see every day.
Okay, it's nowhere near as good as in Brood War, I have to say. I mean, whatever, they're not like terrible. They'll kill workers, sure. It just won't be as rapid destruction, especially compared to that bio. If you loaded up those 6 Mavericks and Hurricanes, that could be absolutely deadly. You could kill the Hydra, for example. Then Tudor's in big trouble. With this, it's like, okay, you can kill some workers, but it will be cleaned up. Now, there's 4 Hydras here, which is plenty of deal, but he's going to fly over the naturals, he's going to drop. I'd love to see him, like, leave 1 there. That's usually a strong strat. Now, it looks like Tudor sees it. The Circuit, once again, going to be instrumental. He's going to get anything here.
He'll get 1 worker, surely. No, he actually bungles it on the micro around the geyser. Best he can hope for is to pick those K-grids, and that's not going to happen. The ski-backed finishing up, announcing its presence, and now, yeah, Toyota, first drop, not so good. Let's keep track of that later.
Dude, tell me my prediction was wrong. Dude, he's so screwed.
I still feel like he's in an okay spot right now because even though his opponent has an expansion, he's not actually leveraging it. It's all the workers are on 1 base right now. So
yeah, I think the fact that Zerg is even has 4 lava production structures. He should have more, by the way, but he has 4 at least. It means this is very bad for Terran. He needs to make something happen. Drops is how he's going to try and make it happen. Again.
Second one leaving with 2 phalanxes. He needs to actually move across the map. This is something I talk about all the time when I cast these lower level games, Neblime, is don't just drop. Attack with your army. Force them to pay attention to multiple things at once. You're very rarely going to catch somebody so asleep at the wheel that they don't respond to your aggression. He's going to go ahead and drop the deployment there. Nice salvo, but he is going to lose. He's going to lose 1 of the phalanxes for it. And
that's something.
I mean, at least he kills 6 workers and denies mining time, but still, come on now.
You're saying just don't drop? I'm saying just don't drop.
Yeah. Don't just drop, just don't drop. Yeah, exactly.
Just don't drop. Just send your army together. He would have actually won, I think, if those vultures and all that other stuff was at the natural instead of dropping. I think he could have moved those Hydras and killed the natural at least, and then he'd be in a winning position. But he's still going.
Doing it. He's actually committing to mass Trojan.
Yeah. He cannot walk on the ground. I don't know, like... It's
floor is lava. Or
something. Yeah, that's right. He's playing the floor is lava mode. It's like a challenge run. But look, it's the drop, first drop. They can't drop, though. Well, they just watches them pass. Like, all right, you have fun.
I don't think either player paid attention to that at all. Okay, now Toyota sees it. Okay. Waypointing his units over to try to catch it.
Here. In fact, this is quite bad for Tudor. Well, the Cyclops, though, who's really getting damaged?
Listen, he's not stimming his Mavericks, and the Trojans are not following, so he will not be able to counter this. This is a lot of Hydras that are going to unload here.
Yeah. Could do a lot of damage. Going to go right after the workers. Although then again, a drill could come down. But hold on, there's a Cyclops here. Oh,
that's always the scariest part. Trojans are leaving and going into the bottom right or middle right. I don't know what's up with that. I guess they're going to uppercut Tudor's main base. But pulls the workers.
It could have been worse for Toyota. He handled that reasonably well, so he's still okay at home. But yeah, he does need to do some damage here. He's thrown away enough units and drops that he really needs to do something now, or Zerg's going to get out of control. Although Tudor's been very slack on droning up again. Once again, this saturation is a problem for these Zergs, it seems. But he will get there eventually if Toyota doesn't make something happen. And Toyota's been very disrupted. He's got like 2 at the natural now since the rearrangement. Now, what can he get here? With those circus in the mineral line, I guess he can always siege up. Does he have Phalanx? He certainly does. He can get those Lavosks. Oh, the gas cap is quite vulnerable as well. There's a lot of potential damage that can go down here, but what will he be able to do? Will he drop it all? That's the question.
Yeah, he might just decide to have most of his army off to the side there. He's actually going to go ahead and unload it right here. He's going to have to unsiege the Phalanx. There it is.
Yeah, I like it, getting ready so it's all good to go. And there, you could just run and kill that pool, for example. It'd be looking real good.
Yeah, sure. The Wyeth and Phalanx being made behind this. This looks like a bit of a biomech combo. Gonna go ahead and deploy the Phalanx. Go right after the workers here. I don't hate it. Nice. Well, okay, he actually doesn't get the best connection there.
I'm not trying to be a hater, but I do hate it. Because he could have left those circuits alone, and they would have got no value for the Zerg. He would have got great damage killing the outlying buildings, but he had to get sucked in there and, take all that damage from them.
Yes, I will admit, the longer that drop went on, the more disastrous it was. You're absolutely correct about that.
Look, that's
3 Bactals being dropped.
Oh wow!
Again, you can kill this with workers, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, Bactals really aren't the best unit, but hey, they got quite a few workers here this time, and the vultures are going to come in. They'll cleanse up, or will they? See, that's how you do it. Tudor's trying to teach him.
Yeah.
He keeps seeing these drops and is like, no, look, this is how you do it. You just scoop on up. Free damage. And your whole army's running around. Your whole saturation is ruined. Great moves by Tudor.
Showing him how it's done. Still no mining in the main base, though. Has been very slow to reset.
Well, I guess it's for both of them, you know?
Yes. The main is lava.
Trojans coming. Oh, I think he's figured it out, though. He's coming on the ground.
Oh, no! The Oveloth with 3 Bactyls just got shot down by Goliaths.
Ouch.
Nothing in these Trojans, by the way. He's just going to use them to scout. Sees the Khaz'trith.
Might as well.
Yeah, when you scout with only 1 unit, by the way, the Khaz'trith adds nothing of value.
If he just comes in with the main army, can he just bust through? What does Tudor even have? He's got like a handful of Hydras, a couple backs, but there's phalanxes for the Circuit, but I'm not sure what Tudor's doing. He keeps moving out a little bit, then stopping and spreading out. I'm not sure what's going on. Is he going to go for it? Could still pull the win out here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of units, and the Bactyls are starting now. They're a little bit under halfway done. By the time this army actually makes it to the natural choke, they will be closer to completion. Could also try to Elevator. 3rd base in production here. Yeah, Tudor's army is very small right now.
Elevator would be huge if he just sieges up above the ramp. Hang on, is this going to go straight in? I don't know about this. There is a Khaz'trith there and some Bactyls. Oh no!
The Bactyls all finish. Well, the Khaz'trith does go down.
Yeah, I don't know if this is enough. No, I think he's going to get decimated, especially with these Circuits. A final desperate move, but the Bactyls have a good arc as well. The Circuits even getting damage in on those phalanxes. Yeah, no, that's going to be a wipeout.
This is looking real rough for Toyota. Honestly, I thought for a second maybe he could try to stand and fight, but no sustain, no healing. He's going to go ahead and drop double Ministry because he has so much money. But you're not really in the best of expanding positions here, my friend.
He did have a Cleric with that, to be fair. Just didn't last very long.
Oh, okay. There
More
you go.
coming up.
Yeah, you're right.
Not enough against all those Bactyls, for sure. I think the only way is if he sort of slowly sieges his way in. But again, Toyota doesn't seem very prone to actually set up his phalanxes and siege positions from what we've seen. He either just goes for the contain, or like that, he moves in too close and gets killed.
24 workers on Tudor's natural, almost none in the main, obviously none in the 3rd. And no gas saturation in the ridge in the natural for Toyota or in the main base at all. So real hectic, chaotic game where neither player has really been doing good economic management so far.
That drop Toyota did where he lost everything and still doing damage to this day, you know?
I know. Yeah.
Damage is ongoing.
Yes, the damage is still racking up.
Yeah, I mean, well, when will it stop, man? So much gas Tudor could have. That said, he hasn't even spent the money he does have. He hasn't even scaled his lava production at all, right? Say what you want about Toyota. He is spending that money. He's doing a great job at that all the time, I feel like. And this double Ministry, look, man, if he can somehow survive, he's going to be able to power workers at least, but can he survive? A lot of Bactyls coming up. There's a single Phalanx here, and Phalanxes really are his only line of defense. Look, Goliaths aren't bad.
Spots up the army at 12 with that Trojan.
Yeah, still doing work, I guess. I don't hate using these infantry just to scout. I mean, you might as well. And I approve of him not trying to drop with them anymore.
Of course. Of course.
He comes down and fights here.
It really feels like he should drop like 10 stockades, start pumping Huracan or something at this point. Like he needs something to get rid of his mineral float.
Yeah, he's doing it. He heard you, man. Toyota's locking in. Can he pull this one out? Look, Tudor's making nothing. Tudor's making 4 things. He's going to pull ahead in workers soon if he makes them. But can he hold off the swarm? A huge army coming in. The mines are in very disadvantageous position for Terran, but not triggered so far. Oh my god.
Oh, the splattering of those 2 phalanxes. They've already killed so many.
Shaman's coming in clutch here, actually. Zerg losing like a considerable chunk of his army there.
He's only lost 2 Huracans for that so far.
Yeah. Does definitely blunts this potential attack. I still feel like Zerg should attack, but he's falling back. Again, maybe the aura. Toyota, if nothing else, seems to be the master of the aura. Always intimidates his opponents somehow. But maybe it's because his army's always like too small, so it's like, why is he not attacking and killing him? Oh no. Please tell me this is for Valkyries, right? He's gonna make Valkyries, right?
He knows he can only lose if his opponent goes mass air. Because he has no watchdogs. But there's no tier 2 on the way for Tudor. It's pretty close, actually.
If he does bank up like 20 Valkyries in anticipation of mutas or something, I love it. If he starts making a bunch of Trojans, I'm crying.
Actually, if he only had enough Trojans to pick up his entire army, he might win the game. But as long as he only has a little bit, it requires so much multitasking, and then he doesn't have enough power anywhere he goes. So
well, we saw that one time he picked up his entire army and tried to drop on the Mutalisks, though. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a very dicey position for Terran. If Bactyls get on that high ground, but maybe he'll claim the high ground himself. Zerg trying to evacuate with the Quasilisk.
Yeah, he's going to see if he can sow any discord in that natural. Right now, though, the Quads are just going to get routed. They do pretty well versus the Vultures and some of those bio units.
Yeah, nice cleanup there. I mean, these battles are still the strong force for Zerg, but as these little bits get cleaned up again and again, the battle's looking less and less menacing. Here comes the drop. By the way,
I see. It's triple and seal, yeah. But that drop is going to actually do some damage. I mean, there's like single phalanx that can try to clean it up. Obviously, he sees the mine.
It's more than a match for 6 quads, to be fair.
Oh,
he
yeah.
runs away. Oh, the saturation.
Yeah, that's depleted already somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how he depleted it. He wasn't mining it for most of the game.
You will never kill that phalanx, my friend. Oh, what are these Mavericks doing down here?
Yeah, they came out of the rally.
Oh, how did he get all the way down there? Somebody do something. Here come the Mavs. No, they're going up.
No, they're going after the Ovoleth. Fuck you, Ovoleth. One Mason dies.
This is such a distraction for Toyota. My God. Like pretty much every single. But at the same time,
two Masons die. What's finished.
What's been doing? His army's out of position. I think he's going to lose his third.
Well, it was only half a base anyway. Worker count can now saturate the main.
Well, I guess so. Losing the Hatchwell's a big deal. But hang on. If Toyota loses the army here, it's definitely not worth it. Needs to get sieged up. Oh, very hesitant there on the deployments. Too late, I think. No stim yet.
Well, no targeting on those phalanxes. He is actually targeting the backline backlists, but I don't know if it's going to be quite enough.
Mansel's in position.
Man, that Hatchwell's soaking up so much damage.
Yeah, he pulls back. Unfortunately, the Hatchwell's making like a natural choke. A lot of Zerg units going down. Man, I don't know. Toyota's getting a bit of a stranglehold here. Is he going to win this game?
Well, he's definitely favored as of right now, but we also have 12 Skithra cores being made. I guess he scouts the Anseals and he's like, yeah, I need the Skiths for it.
Well, if he flies into the main, he's going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, well, there's not a single watchdog anywhere. Still nothing, no workers in the main. You're absolutely right about that.
If only he'd stocked up those Valkyries, man, I'm telling you. Wait, Almax, when did Tier 2 get made? What?
Yeah, he made it a long time ago. It popped in the middle of his 6 quads drop that took forever to clean up.
Oh my god. Well, again, if he had the Valkyries right now... Oh no, don't attack in. This is not the play, even without these skiffs here. Although that's it, the skiffs might engage and get themselves killed. Toyota needs to back up out of this situation. He's getting absolutely decimated right now.
Yeah, if every ground unit for Tudor attacked in with those skits, he would wipe the army. It's just a question of target selection at that point.
being made, which, you know what, they're probably cost-effective against Almax, but they certainly aren't against skiffs.
Yeah, they'll just get eviscerated by them. I think when you see this many, surely you go the Valks, but he's like, I built 1 Valkyrie and it didn't kill 100 Algaztalisks. And so he's going to abandon the concept of it.
Time's up. Here they come. Those Mavericks, they thought they were going to defend against a few naps or a drop. Alas. Oh, man. And the Almax in the back make this so much deadlier.
He is going to switch into Valkyries, actually. Canceled his race, but those star pads are not in a good position for defense. So if I'm Tudor, I'm killing those star pads. Instead, he wants to go for the workers that don't exist.
There must be a lot of workers in the main. And look at that. The Magical's coming out clutch just in time. Might be able to beat this back. But the workers, what are they doing? Get out of there.
This is so deadly. Knife's Edge. But hey, look at this. Tudor aggroing the Terran mech army as he charges forward. He's got a lot more units this time. Reinforced with bio. Spent some of those minerals. Main base getting absolutely creamed right now. Tudor has control of that with the air, but Toyota is trying to break the front. He's got so many Anseals, only now deploying the Phalanx. This is going to be huge.
Can he get through? I think he might be able to with so many Phalanxes here. It looks like he's going to break. The Batgirls in the back still doing damage, but the Goliaths and Anseals tanking so well. If he gets enough up, he's going to defend at home.
I really think that at this point, he needed to either pull the air army back, try to defend from those phalanxes, or at the very least, pull the Bactyls back so he could try to clear that front line, because there's 28 Zets coming, but they're single file.
Yeah, I mean, even if they weren't with the Shaman here, I think the phalanxes are strong enough. That said, he's still, he has, no money. Why does Tudor have no money? Oh my god.
Because he's not mining.
Valkyrie's coming in. Can they get the shots off? The Almax do a lot of damage to them. I think he's going too early.
No, the skits are dying. The skits are dying, though, and every little bit here. It doesn't matter about cost efficiency. Look at the banks. He isn't making anything else out of the star pads, but his phalanxes are unkillable.
Oh, and look at the army he has in the main. Actually, those Mavs and Goliaths actually probably will do it. He's doing critical damage here. Even if every worker for Toyota falls, I feel like he might still be able to just macro back up. Then again, 2,000 minerals looking like a lot less as he queues up those Valkyries. Here comes the actual engagement, though, with the ground army. Beats him back. Now, what anti-A is over here? Literally none? Oh, there's 1 Mav and 1 Wraith. Oh,
and a Goliath that's very, very wounded, but look at all those workers dying. It's down to 22.
He's on the clock here. The air army. Well, the air army's getting eliminated. It didn't come back to try and defend. But
no, he went after that ministry, and that was a massive mistake. There's nothing left for Tudor. 3 Almax in production. His Zets being slowly trying to break through.
Very slowly.
Very slowly. They're not targeting the Shaman. It's got 36 health. He could have done it.
Man, the air army's gone. The air army's gone, and he still has 3 ministries. I mean, his work account has been like absolutely eviscerated, but he can remake. He's just sending them all to the 9 o'clock. And yeah, he's still got these phalanxes here causing trouble. There's not enough money for Tudor. He's making some Almex, which I guess will work since there's no anti-air here whatsoever. But again, there's like the one Wraith. Oh, a Goliath comes out of nowhere. I don't know where he was the whole time.
It's got very low health, but the Ant Seals are going to keep him alive, and the Shaman will even heal him. Oh,
it's actually enough Ant Seals, isn't it? Oh my god. Brutal for Tudor here. I think Toyota's done it, man.
Yeah, it's finally over. Toyota still mining from his 4th base. 25 workers. What a way to end the game.
Poor Almax. This poor Almax. Just like, can we do it? Can we do it? GG.
GG. All right. Well, Toyota will finally break it. Of course, it has to be unbelievable scenes at the very end for the final game. Always the most absurd matches in some of these undercards. And in these underclass matches, there was no upper card for Group D, so technically this is it. That means that Toyota is 2nd place in the group, and Tudor falls to the final spot. 1 for 4 on him, 2 for 2 on Toyota, and of course 4-1 for Fenris. Has to be said that I think, obviously, Tudor's win was over Fenris in a game where he had a strategic, masterclass, if you want to call it that, grading on a curve, and was able to use those air units to really ruin Fenris's day. But everything else came back with a vengeance, dude. The Fenris absolutely slapped him in the fastest game of the series, because Tudor was probably like, well, surely I won't get Zerg a 4th time. How about a 5th time, buddy? You're a Zerg player now.
That's right, forever.
Man, what a game to end it on as well. Well, Neblime, unless you have any final thoughts or closing words you want to provide us, this longest group of the March Invitational, at least for the the undercard. I think technically we had a longer group in the upper card, but those were bangers. Obviously had some highs and lows, and many of them were drops. But Toyota has figured it out. He did drop, and he didn't win. He did not. Well, he did win. Shit. I'm saying what I wanted to be true. With all that said, though, do you have any closing words for our competitors? As we've now seen the complexion, seems to me like Fenris is narrowly a Class 3 player. And he's considering he can improve and forward. I would say that that's probably a pretty fair place to throw him at.
Look, I think what we really learned today is that Valkyries are a good unit now. People need to make them.
Yep, that's right. I mean, just think about how much more damage they would have done if they added a couple more, and they are...
Well, if he'd been building those up from the start, it would have been like, instead of this like crazy situation where he barely survived, it would have been like instant win. He would have just like deleted the Zerg army when it showed up.
Absolutely. All right, well, with all that said, GG's, and congrats to Fenris for winning that prize money. Congrats to Toyota for getting 2nd place, and honestly, congrats to Tudor for playing 5 games of Zerg when he was random. He got absolutely owned. GG's will be back tomorrow for more Cosmonarchy, and we still have at least 1 group, maybe 2, that we can cover for this invitational. So join us for that, and thank you once again for casting with me, Neblime. It was an experience.
It sure was.